countdown. There we go. We got it working. Yes. Oh,
There's
there
the little
he
ticker.
is. Yep, we got the ticker going, and we have Ben joining us. Huzzah!
Hey, good timing, apparently.
Yeah, it was. I just hit the live button, and then your face popped up. So that works out real well. Yes, I did get confirmations from a couple of people. They wouldn't be able to join until like closer to 8 o'clock, but I figured this was going to be more of like a free-for-all kind of stream that people would be coming and going.
Right.
So, yeah.
And it's not like we can't riff for an hour. It's fine.
Oh, exactly. We'll find ways to riff.
Right.
Yes. Real quick.
I mean, all we have to do is mention the...
Yeah.
I was going to say, all we have to do is mention DBZ around this one.
Okay. Can I just be honest for a minute? I kid you not. I'm considering participating in something called Vlogmas, and then I went, what am I going to make the first vlog about? And then I went, I have Dragon Ball Z figures. I could just be like, on the first day of Vlogmas, I gifted to myself. And just like show it off as I go. And we have Los hanging out with us, and it sounds like he is very intrigued by that pitch.
What's up, Los?
Howdy, Los.
Yeah. What's the deal with Vlogmas? Is it just you have to do a vlog every day, or?
Yep, pretty much. Doing a vlog every day. I think it's up to everybody's interpretation as to how many days in a row that you do it. Some people do all the December days. Some only go up to Christmas. I'm just going to do it for 12 days because 12 days of Vlogmas sounds catchy. Also, I want to take the second half of the month off.
That's fair. I mean, you could do it like the song, and every single day you have to do an extra vlog.
Oh, that would get real cluttered real fast.
Snowball. That would snowball. Real fast.
Yeah, it would. I think the almighty algorithm would take some issue with that.
Oh yeah, how to be declared a spam bot by Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Do the 12 days of Vlogmas, but like on the 7th day, do 7 vlogs. Oh Jesus, what? Yeah,
you're gonna get some flags.
Oh yeah. Get the system being like, wait a second. You might be able to get away with it a little easier if you're doing shorts. I will say that.
Yeah. By the way, I have officially started giving shorts a try, and I'm really liking them.
Oh, good. Yeah, I've been seeing the view counts have been racking up for you. I'm really liking the format that you're doing, by the way.
Yeah, it's something that I'm hopefully going to be able to do a lot. If anyone hasn't seen it, I've been doing basically time lapses of my drawings of D&D characters and doing an explanation of who they are when applicable in my DM voice, like whatever character voice I came up for the character. Mm-hmm. The one problem I've hit, I can do it really quickly as long as I have the time lapse footage, which my drawing program Clip Studio records. Yeah. And I discovered that most of my drawings do not have that time lapse footage recorded still. I think there must be like a time limit or something on how long that keeps it. But
I don't know about that so much. I think it's just a matter of like remembering to record and export.
Yeah, well, it doesn't keep the recordings. The other thing is I moved the file around, which might have lost it, but
that'll do it too.
Yeah. But I'm hoping whenever I'm doing more characters, and I'm DMing a campaign right now, so that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. I'll be able to do more of these, and they take almost no time to set up.
That's good.
Yeah, I can basically just swap out all the assets from a previous one, and it's done.
Yeah.
So yeah, that hopefully you guys will see more of that coming from me.
Be sure to subscribe to Ben's channel for more of that.
YouTube.com/@BWHcomics.
There we go. Self-plug done. I mean, there's gonna be a fair bit of that peppered throughout this stream. Just a heads up to everybody who's watching.
What are you talking about? I thought this was just like an exclusively Dragon Ball Z stream.
Yes. Now let me get into my tirade about why Janemba is the best movie villain.
You'll also be in the background charging the whole time.
See, this is why I'm glad that I have you on as guest right now. Yeah, basically. So, all right. Reason number 1 why Janemba's the best. For one thing, he's red and violet. He's Valentine's colors. Reason number 2.
I'm just trying to Zach Oyama in the background, just be.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta ask because Ben, I know you also have Dropout.
Yeah.
Have you been watching the latest Dimension 20 Burrow's End?
Yes, I have.
Did you see the latest episode?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, isn't it bonkers?
I mean, the whole show's been bonkers. It's great.
The whole show has been bonkers. I mean, there's parasitic chipmunks piloting an undead bear.
I like that basically
Blake's face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blake,
it is exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah. Gio, I don't know if you're into Dungeons and Dragons or live play stuff or anything like that.
Cool. I am. I know. I'm familiar with. Yeah, I'm familiar with Dimension 20. I just haven't gotten to see any of the new stuff.
Yeah. The latest season, the thing that's wild is they just had their horror season. They're like, we're going to do horror fairy tales, and it's going to be creepy and stuff. And it was. And basically, Abria Iyengar said, hold my beer.
Yeah. As is the Abria Iyengar way.
It's true.
Yeah.
She showed up and turned what we knew was going to be like an unsettling kind of Watership Down-esque season into the body horror season. And it's great.
I see there's a little fur baby guest.
This is the one that went headlong into a hot dog. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we were talking about that before we went live. He dove headfirst into some ketchup and mustard. Mm-hmm.
He used to be, or he's a rescue, so he's used to being a garbage gremlin. And so I was walking around with a hot dog on my plate, and he was like, "Mine."
as goblin cats are wont to do.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this morning I had my tea because my mug warmer is over here on the side. I had my tea and my little tea bag was just hanging out in the mug. And lately, Mooney has discovered tea bag made of paper, tea bag on tag, tea bag string, tea bag toy, tea bag mine. And so this morning, as I was setting up for my studio stuff, I was minding my own business. I had my eyes off him for like a second, and then all of a sudden I look over and there's the tea bag on my drafting table, a splatter of water, and Mooney staring at it like,
I mean, this probably doesn't help. But this is one of his toys.
Yeah. and then my roommate Alex came in. It doesn't help that we have catnip toys that look like tea bags.
Like tea bag, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We're not helping our cause any.
I was picturing your cat chewing on an actual tea bag. Like, this isn't getting me high. It's making me civilized.
I know, right? It's like that gag in the anime The Cat Returns where it's like it just tastes like boiled grass to me, and then the crow hops in and is like, tea is too refined for your crude cat taste buds.
Man, The Cat Returns is a good deep cut.
I'm good for deep cuts.
Yeah. That's
Yes.
That might be my favorite non Miyazaki Ghibli movie.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
And one of the best English dubs.
Yes. I will agree with you on that one. One of the best English dubs, right up there with Yu Yu Hakusho, in my opinion.
Mm.
Yeah, because the Yu Yu Hakusho, particularly the Funimation dub, is really, really good.
Yeah, and I like a lot of English dubs. I just want to throw out there, don't at me.
Yeah, I mean, people can have their opinions.
Yeah,
and they are certainly entitled to them. But like, if it's a fun watch, that's what matters.
Exactly.
Yeah, I still want to see, and this is kind of a wild swing, but follow with me. I still want to see the Revolutionary Girl Utena movie English dub, knowing that the English dub was directed by the original Japanese director.
Does the original Japanese director speak English?
I think so.
Okay, because I've also seen stuff where it's very much not the director's first language and they tried it anyway.
Yeah.
One of the most famous examples of that is, like, a lot of people have memed this, but Troll 2. The director's first language is not English, and that's a big part of why the acting's so weird.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
As long as they put at least some care into it, I don't care. As long as it's not like Ghost Stories.
Ghost
If you're all
Stories,
familiar with
okay. Ghost Stories, if you're in the right mood, is awesome.
No. Like I love watching it, but I kind of want to see the actual Ghost Stories.
Oh,
like
yeah.
if they could do like a different cut where it's like, okay, we actually had translators who actually went through and translated things, and the VA department wasn't just told to do whatever.
Yeah.
My understanding is that it was kind of a rebel VA department. Like, they went kind of nuts with it.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
well, to me, that's the fault of whoever was directing it. Like, if you've completely lost control of your actors to that point, you're like, screw it, let's go with it. Like, that's a choice. I would be curious if the original was actually like.
Yeah, I love the product that came out, but I would also like to see the original Ghost. Like, I want to see what the English dub of Ghost Stories would have been if it weren't.
If it were treated a little bit more seriously.
Yeah. In case anyone watching doesn't know what we're talking about, Ghost Stories, I want to say this was a dub from either late 90s, early 2000s. The series came over, it was set to be dubbed, and for whatever reason, the production company decided they didn't like the script and just let the voice actors ad-lib over the entire thing. My understanding is they did some ad-libbing as a joke, and then they just started going with it and doing the whole thing. And they basically turned what's supposed to be a slice-of-life horror series into a comedy with really, really inappropriate humor, but it was hilarious.
Yeah, I think it was because of the inappropriate humor that I'm really tempted to say that it was dubbed in like the early 2000s. Because of that early 2000s humor being peppered throughout.
And the dub's still probably too good a quality to have been in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My guess is, yeah.
I'm sure that the go on.
I was going to say 90s dubbing is a unique field of its own. What were you going to say?
I was going to say it looks like the anime was done in the 90s, and then when the dub was done over for the for the English version, it was early 2000s.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
It's an easy way to find out. Hold on.
Okay. Oh, you're going to look it up. Cool.
Yeah.
I was going to add obligatory Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z reference. It's like knowing that the like Saiyan arc of Dragon Ball Z came out in like originally in Japan in like 91 or something like that. And then it didn't really come out stateside in the Funimation dub until like the early 2000s or something like that. Keep in mind, Dragon Ball Z did go through a number of dubbing operations before it eventually landed at Funimation.
To answer the question, it came out in Japan in 2000. So
Ghost Stories?
Right at that turning point.
Okay, so Ghost Stories came out in like 2000, like early 2000s. Yeah. Also,
part of it? Dang.
Yeah. Oh, that's like, okay. Fun fact, since we're talking about anime. So there's this anime called Metropolis, which is not the Fritz Lang adaptation. It is an adaptation of Osamu Tezuka's manga of the same name that Osamu Tezuka made because he saw the poster from Metropolis and went, I'm going to write fan fiction.
Without even seeing the movie.
And it was, and I'm seeing Alex in the living room just as she's putting Christmas decorations up. She's just like,
Not a Tezuka fan, I take it.
Oh, the thing about this movie in particular is that Alex and I are both in agreement on this. Metropolis, the anime film, is 17 plots in a trench coat. trying to tell a cohesive story and just failing so beautifully with jazz. Because there is all kinds of inappropriate jazz throughout this whole thing.
I mean,
Like-
Oh, hey, now. Jazz is never inappropriate.
I mean, wait until you see this movie.
I was about to say, okay, Fern. Anyway, but yeah, with
Yeah.
I remember not having that much trouble following Metropolis, but it's because I felt like I'd seen a bunch of the plots before.
Yeah.
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 It's like, wait, you mean there's a conflict between androids and humans that's that's very vaguely veiled racism? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I know what we're dealing with. But
Yeah.
yeah, like it's amazing how many anime classics are kind of weird to try and follow. I remember like they're beautiful, but I had a hard time following Akira and the original Ghost in the Shell movie. Both of which are awesome, but it's like they're so complicated and confusing, and so much is happening all at once. It can be hard to follow.
Yeah.
At least Metropolis was sort of plot focused. It just maybe too many of them. I also haven't seen it in like maybe 15 years.
I mean, I feel like Metropolis is it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Visually, it's beautiful. I will give it that. The thing that I brought this up, I brought the movie up because it was released in like 2000, and then it came stateside in 2001. And unfortunately, it was like going on the theater route just after 9/11. And there's a significant part of the plot in Metropolis where a very tall building crumbles. So
yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, needless to say, Metropolis did not make its box office money back stateside.
I didn't even realize it had a theatrical release like that.
Yes, it did. Although it probably wasn't like immediately after 9/11. I think they gave it some time before they put it in theaters because of that whole like, the climax of the movie is a building crumbling onto the city. Maybe we should hold off on that.
It's like the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie where there was going to be a thing about catching a helicopter between in a web between the Twin Towers. And then 9/11 happened. We're like, we're cutting that and adding a scene where he like stands on a flag for a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quick, we need Chad Kroger. We need a bunch of pictures of him in this thing.
Yeah. I will say, if anyone's seen the original trailer where it gets caught in that web, that was a killer trailer. It was real good.
It was a pretty killer trailer. I remember seeing the footage of that.
Yeah.
Wasn't there some flack also because in one of like the like promo not the video, like the promo images, they had like the reflection of the Twin Towers in Spider-Man's eye, and that got some flack.
Yeah, I think that was all related to this one cool shot idea they had that was going to be in there. Then 9/11 happened. They were like, nope.
Yeah.
Too disrespectful.
Too much disrespect. Much trauma. Very no.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good use of that meme, I think. Yeah. So we've been going for about 20 minutes and I have yet to announce why it is that we're doing this stream in the first place.
We just immediately went in with the Dragon Ball Z and from there went to the anime.
Yeah.
It's late. We're a few seconds late. I didn't know you hadn't done intro yet.
It's all good. I mean, this is a pretty chill live stream anyway. I didn't really have too much of a structure in mind when I was putting it together. I was just like, hey, how about we artists participating in this Fantasyville holiday pop-up shop get together on stream and talk about the shop and whatever else comes to mind on this final day that the pop-up shop is open. That was my pitch.
So tell us about this pop-up shop.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. What is this? What is it?
So I came up with this idea in like the middle of October. I was like, what if I ran a online pop-up shop featuring indie comics creators and their work so that people could, support indie creators in time for the holiday season. And I reached out to a bunch of folks who I knew and loved their work, and I was like, would you like to be involved? And y'all came in spades. It was great. We got the shop all set up. So far, we've raised, last I've counted, about $434 in funding before shop close. So huzzah for that. Yay. I'm hoping we can get to 500 before the end of the night. We will see how that goes. You know what? While I'm thinking about it, let me just get the tab up just so I can look at it.
Get a live count.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep tabs on it, see if there's anything new.
Yeah. I keep debating contributing, but I try to make it a policy not to buy stuff that I'm in. You know what I mean? Like if I'm trying to make money. But also there's so much cool stuff. I'm like, I should just get something.
There's a lot of cool stuff.
Like, yeah, that's my philosophy is a bit similar, Ben, but I want to like make the money that I get from this to go towards getting more stuff from the shop.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no,
that's my goal.
Yeah.
Like I want to get sales so that way I could get the stuff at the shop myself.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I get that.
But yeah, this was definitely a cool project. As soon as you pitched it, I'm like, yeah, I'm in. This sounds like a good one. Yeah. One of the things that threw me the most, because I've done consignment with you before and things like that. Mm-hmm. On this project, the actual list price, the creators are getting 100% of that.
Yep.
Which I thought was wild.
Yep.
And is something I'm not sure other people have heard about, because that's one of the coolest things about this.
Yes. I only know of one other kind of like pop-up event that does this, and that's Short Box Zine Fair, I think is the full name of it. But it's short box. It usually happens throughout the whole month of October, and it's purely online. It only features like comics PDFs, and that's about it. And the other sticky point about Shortbox is that all the comics that are featured in Shortbox were made specifically for the Shortbox Fair.
Right.
So it's not other people's already existing work. It's like entirely brand new stuff. And I was like, but what if I did a pop-up shop where folks could get their already existing work out there? And I make sure that you get 100% of the sales plus any tips that folks leave for y'all, which fantastic news. A lot of y'all are getting tips. So yay for that.
That's honestly the thing I love the most about crowdfunding is I always price everything with worst case scenario math, because you got to. Like, you have to assume, okay, this is what needs to happen minimum for me to break even. And somebody always donates extra money because they're good people. Yeah. It makes that math go way better.
Yeah. The other really nice thing is, and you know, shout out to everybody who has placed their orders on Crowdfunder, who has done this. A good majority of the people who have bought their orders through the pop-up shop have opted to cover the transaction fees. So you'll be getting more of the funds, which is really, really nice. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I opted for Crowdfunder rather than any other platform, was because Crowdfunder did allow the option of, hello, backer, we see that you want to support this person. Would you like to also cover their transaction fees so that they get more of the funds? It's great that they have that option.
As someone who has done a bunch of Kickstarters and one Crowdfunder, it's one of the best things about Crowdfunder. I love that.
Yeah.
I had a campaign wrap not long before this started. And in fact, one of the main products that I contributed to this are copies of the comic from that Crowdfunder.
Hold on. I have them. Keep talking.
But one of the things that kind of blew my mind while I was working on it is I realized I had more money than it was originally telling me I had, because the total they were giving me did not include what they'd collected for those fees, which they were already taken out. It didn't include the shipping fees.
Yep.
I got more money than I was expecting, or what was even listed on the website, because they were holding that as separate. It was great. I, in fact, could have budgeted a little bit differently. I'd asked for 500. I technically could have asked for less, because they were counting the shipping money as separate. But it's just really nice to realize, oh shoot, I made more money than I thought I did.
It's really, really nice. I had that same thing happen when I did The Legend of Jamie Roberts Volume 2 on Crowdfunder. Because, like, on the main Crowdfunder page, it looks like it raised, like, $980 some. Mm-hmm. But that's before accounting for covering bank fees, shipping costs, and everything else.
Yeah.
So,
also just to throw it out there, I see your Titan's Grave shirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 gold and a party.
That's a reference that's deep cut now, which is sad.
Uh-huh. I know. I am full of deep cuts tonight. Mm-hmm. Also, speaking of deep cuts, Tales from the Desert Coast. Because it's about a deep cut from the past.
That's right. Yeah, that comic was an interesting experiment in a lot of different ways. First off, it was my first actual like classic American comic book size comic.
Mm-hmm.
Which
you usually don't do them at this size.
No, like most of what I work at is either half letter or what we did, Less Than Secret and What the Gnomes Know For, which are also available in the shop. Which are 8.5 by 5 1/4, or 6 by 9. I've never actually done that full floppy, and honestly, it's fun, and I want to do it more. It's a great size.
It is. You can fit a lot of detail in there, man.
And it's got some D&D nerdery in it that, according to people I've shown it to who are not into D&D, they still really liked it.
That's all you can ask for with stories like that.
It's true.
Yep, this is another kind of letter size anthology. This is What the Gnomes Know. I did the cover art and served as the editor on this book. Heck yes.
Yes.
Yes, we got tons of gorgeous pages in this one. And also, since we were talking about like full-size comics, let me see if I can pull this bad boy out. It's kind of tight in this box. There we go. Blah. Tuck and Roll, Volume 1.
We need to get Geo in on this.
Yeah. Exactly. Look at this. Look at this beefy boy.
Composition notebook look.
It's
Yeah.
a tome.
I still can't.
It's not a comic book anymore. It's a tome.
Yeah, this is probably the chonkiest book that we have available in the pop-up shop, not gonna lie.
How many pages is it?
Over 100.
I think it's close to 200. I think it was 196 last time I counted.
Yeah, it's a beefy boy. Look at this beefy boy. It's like, yeah. Hold up.
My favorite part about that is on the side there. It actually looks like the notebook paper because the way the printers got it through. So it looks like a little like notebook.
Yeah.
Get the light in there. Yeah. Look at that. And it's even like on the top. Look at that. And on the bottom. The attention to detail on this book. It's bonkers.
Oh,
yeah, I got that done through Comics Wellspring.
Also printed mine.
They printed this, and they also printed The Legend of Jamie Roberts Volume 2. They do gorgeous work.
So I showed Family Business to Ian, good comic friend of mine, Ian Klesch. He wrote the story that I drew in What the Gnomes Know. And one thing I like about Ian is he gets excited anytime he holds like either something that he made or one of his friends made. He still gets like full on the early day excitement that we all got when we first started creating stuff. And the thing that he said that cracked me up when he flipped through Family Business was, dude, it feels like a real comic. I was like, because like the quality of printing with Comics Wellspring really is like indie comics that are printed at comic book size never feel quite like the DC Marvel paper quality because they're doing that stuff.
Yeah,
this came close. It had that almost. It wasn't as flimsy as a lot of the pages, but it kind of has that same kind of glossy feel. It's great.
It's the paperweight and it's the texture of the paper that makes the difference. They both have to work together really well.
you guys both use Comics Wellspring. The Silk Touch paper, really nice.
Oh,
It's not more expensive.
Yeah.
it's been a hot second since I touched the silk paper. I also am just really digging the new fur baby that is hanging out with Geo right now. Hello, fur baby.
Multiple
You-
fur
Yeah.
babies.
Yeah, you look just like my roommate's cat, Boo Boo.
This is the one that has been sort of like half adopting the kittens. She adopts them whenever they're nice, and then whenever they're bad, she's
Mhm.
like, That's your kitten. What are you
Yeah.
what are you gonna do about this kitten?" Like when the kitten's like nice and is purring and is laying on the bed and curled up, that's when this one's Philia. That's when Philia would come over and just be like, "Oh yeah, this is a kitten." But when Umbra got his head in a hot dog, Philia didn't want nothing to do with him because
I'm not cleaning that up.
she could smell the hot dog. She was like, "I'm not. That's not me."
We're about to have a special guest come on screen. Hold on,
Ooh.
let's see if I can make some room. Here we go. This is Boo Boo.
Ah,
Yes. Another tuxedo baby. Oh.
No.
I don't know if you heard that. She does not like to be held. Oh, goodness. I don't know if y'all heard that.
Yeah.
I also see that Ben has he has a precious stapler in
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah, I'm visiting my parents, and my entire family has allergies, so we don't own pets, and I was feeling left out. And I'm in my mom's office, so I just grabbed what I could.
Oh, you know what? I'm also feeling left out, so I'm just gonna.
There we go. There we go.
What kind
You
of
just
fan
get-
do you
you
take
just-
me for?
I mean, this.
I feel like this
I feel like this is
screenshot.
a good time to talk about the store because it's a good time to do some hard selling.
Yes,
Yes.
indeed. We all
talk about the
spoken.
merchandise. The merchandise.
Oh shit! Oh shit! I can't
I'm
get
so
over-
tempted. Like, I was going to put this away now that the bit's over, but I'm also tempted just to keep doing it through the
Yeah.
entire stream. And if when other people pop in, we just don't address it.
I'm down for that if you're down for that.
I'm tempted. My arm's going to get tired.
Well, take a break now because you don't have to pet the cat all the time.
That's true.
Sometimes Brie just likes it whenever I just have like one hand here and I'm just like pat pat pat.
Also, my mom does have a second stapler and a tape dispenser, so we could just keep piling.
We could.
We'll see. No,
Yeah.
I'm going to stop.
I'm gonna need to get more plushies. Right now, this is the only like this and the 4-star ball with a Shenron wrapped around it. Let me see
Yeah.
if I can grab them.
I like the plushies that look like, especially if they're bad guys, where they look. It's like how cats are always funniest when they look grumpy.
Mm-hmm. Just
Where
like
it's
this
like-
guy.
How dare you treat me like I'm adorable? Don't you know who I am?
He has a little tail,
Yeah.
and his little wings are just boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop.
Going back to Dimension in 20 for a second, have you seen the Galir plushie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
I thought
gosh.
you'd get a kick out of that.
And speaking of other plushie, this was. Oh, did you bring Burp? Oh, you brought Burp. This is Burp.
Aw.
Oh,
This was that. So actually, fun fact: both of these are gifts from my D&D players.
oh.
Yeah. This little guy became our table mascot. His name is Burp, and we love him. Thank you for Burp. We keep him in the living room most of the time.
Yeah.
And then this one was a gift from a player. I'm pretty sure after our campaign wrapped up, but for a while he had a Loot Crate subscription back when Loot Crate was a thing. Deep cut there.
Is Luke?
Yeah.
Huh.
But this was one of the Loot Crate prizes, and the player Craig knew how much I love Dragon Ball Z, and he was like, well, you've been such a great DM, I want you to have this. And I'm like, yes, thank you, I love this. Oh, did you capture the Mooney? Oh, he's done hiding. Mooney had to hide because we were taking down Halloween decorations today, and we had a kitty decoration, and it made noise and it scared him.
Aw.
Yeah, this is Mooney Vegeta Muser Peterson Crawford. That is his full name.
That looks like someone who wants to do some zoomies real quick.
Oh, he always,
Yeah,
always wants to do zoomies. Yeah, that is his MO all of the time.
So we've talked a little bit about what I have in the store and what Gio has in the store. We haven't talked about what you have in the store yet, and you got a few things.
I have a couple, yes. I wanted to keep the emphasis on other artists and not so much on myself. So I only have like maybe 4 things in there. I know for sure I have The Legend of Jamie Roberts Volume 1 and 2. Now, the thing about Volume 1 is that the Volume 1 that's in the shop, in the pop-up shop, is from the first, it's from the first print run, which means that there is a misprint on one of the pages, which is why it is discounted.
So it's a limited edition.
Yes. That's another way to look at it. So it's a limited edition, but there is a misprint on one of the pages. Let me see if I can actually find. It's buried and it's in a really inconvenient place to unbury it, so I'm not going to show it off here. Yeah, it's just on one page, but it bothers me because of how obvious it is, because it offsets half of the page by like a quarter of like a half of an inch, and it throws the colors off. It's still readable. You can still read the page, but there's just color offsetting on that one page, and that's it. But that's just Volume 1. Volume 2 was printed by Comics Wellspring, and it's gorgeous. Seriously, I cannot get over how gorgeous Volume 2 is. I did an entire like reveal video on my YouTube channel showing off how gorgeous it is. But like, if you actually buy the copy, you can feel how much nicer it feels. There's definitely like, if you touch Volume 1 and Volume 2, you can feel the difference between the two books. Yeah.
Yes, I know, Kelsey. I want to get Volume 2. I have Volume 1. You keep telling me about Volume 2, and I'm like,
well, it is currently Pop Shop.
No, I know it's
go buy a copy yourself, Gio, at crowdfunding.com/FVillePopShop.
It's not the top of my list. I want that, and then I want the ramen bag so I can put it in the ramen bash.
Yes, we do have the ramen bags. Those are easier to pull out. Hold on.
Yeah. And it's absolutely true, especially if you've had bad experiences with a printer, finding good printers.
Oh my God, right? Oh.
In addition to Comics Wellspring, which I had a fantastic experience with, shout out to Mixam, Mixam. They did both Less Than Secret and What the Gnomes Know. They are a fantastic printer. The only reason I didn't use them for this one is I wanted to give Comics Wellspring a try because one of their salespeople is actually in the Columbus Cartoon Coalitions, and talking to them, I'm like, yeah, sure, let's check this out. So now I have 2.
Oh, you froze.
He's got 2.
He's got 2.
Oh shoot, did I freeze?
You froze, yeah. You froze it. I got 2, and then he just paused.
That's great, because I said to me, you froze in a goofy position. I wasn't going to call it out because I'm a gentleman. Anyway, but yeah, I was just saying that I have 2 really good printers now, and that's really nice.
Wow, we love that.
Yeah. So besides Jamie Roberts, you got at least 2 other things in here, don't you?
One is a pre-order for a art book, Cats the Sketchbook, which I have some sketches here. So Cats the Sketchbook collects sketches that I did during Inktober of 2023. Some of those sketches include, but are not limited to, this bad boy right here.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Warlock with a kitten. because yes. We also have this adorable witch. I love them so heckin' much. Look at that, so cute.
Yeah.
And then we also have, I have more in another sketchbook, but it's like on the opposite side of the desk, and I'm not going to reach for it. Let's see.
Are those related at all to, are you talking yet about your other cat-themed project?
I'm trying to remember which other cat-themed project you're talking
Tabletop?
about. Oh, toe beans and broomsticks?
Yes, I wasn't sure if you're talking about it on streams yet.
I mean, I can talk about it because the player version is free to download on my Ko-fi shop.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Also, this sketch will also be featured in the Katza sketchbook pre-order.
I mean, it fits. Robin Williams had a line where he said that all cats are drag queens.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I saw Alaska Thunderfuck's get up in Dirty Laundry, and I was like, I have to draw that.
Yep.
And I'm going to draw it on a cat drag queen. Yes. And also, yes, all cats are drag queens. Let's be real about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I did like 31 days of cats, and I'm putting them together into a sketchbook, and that is available for pre-order through the pop-up shop.
Yeah. Was that traditional? A lot of it looked that way.
It is. All of the art was done with Copic markers and these Tombow, I want to say they're Tombow Fudenosuke's. These Tombow pens get a little bit of a close-up so that you can see like what's on the side there as best as I can. Yeah, these are Tombow fine line calligraphy pens. Honestly, I prefer inking with these over just about anything else. Those and the these Tombow markers, these other Tombow double-ended drawing markers. Yeah, much prefer inking with those over like microns, because microns, I'll be honest, microns are kind of garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, if there's a specific like pen or marker or brush pen or anything like that, like style of stuff you want to get good with, go to Jet Pens and buy one of their samplers. Absolutely worth it. You'll get all these pens that you might not have seen elsewhere. A lot of them are straight from Japan or things like that.
Yeah.
But
oh my god, Japan does like calligraphy and pens and like stationery. Just it's so good.
And the thing is, Jet Pens is affordable. It's not like you're buying spending a ridiculous amount of money to get this stuff. And very often you'll find, oh, the version I've been using is terrible. This is the version I want. I actually for years thought I hated brush pens. You needed to find the right one. Yeah, no, I was using the Faber-Castell brush pens that came with the kits, which are just like this little tip. And one of my classmates at Center for Cartoon Studies, Kane Lynch, who was a big brush guy for a lot of his stuff, but he also used brush pens. And they brought in, they actually had a class where they brought in a bunch of theirs that they'd gotten from Jet Pens. And they're like, here, pass these around and try them. I'm like, oh, this is what this is supposed to feel like. And like my first graphic novel, all the line art was one of those brush pens because I realized I loved it so much.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Yeah, don't use Faber-Castell brush pens. They're garbage.
Yeah, and microns marginally better.
Yeah,
They make okay tech pens. They make okay tech pens.
Yeah, they're okay tech pens. But like I feel like in terms of like arc of quality, bottom is Faber-Castell, and then Micron is like if Faber-Castell is here, Micron is like here. Yeah. And then Tombows are up here.
Yeah. And by the way, anyone who sees this and loves using those things, great. We didn't. That's the use what works well for you. One of my favorite things to draw with are cheap ballpoint pens.
Yeah, like, you can never go wrong with a ballpoint pen. Yeah. Of course, it depends on the ballpoint pen. Because I've discovered that there are some like these like Bic pens really like to just explode without warning. Yeah. It's not my favorite thing. But
I get mine exclusively from the dentist's office.
I mean,
But-
honestly, it works.
But like this Pentel Energel liquid gel ink pen, mwah, love it.
I was able to grab one because my mom uses the same things, but
Mm-hmm.
there are these like super cheap. You've seen these pens everywhere. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that black bar is sort of the cue for me. But I've done so much stuff with this type of pen.
Mm-hmm.
I actually started using them just because they're very extra fine lines, so they dry incredibly quickly, which is important when you're left-handed and trying to write.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's one of those pens that I always like try to have a billion of somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
If they were waterproof, they'd be perfect.
Oh, there's always like one fatal flaw.
Yeah. Weirdly, a lot of ballpoint pens are waterproof. I don't know why.
I probably because they're mixed with alcohol to some degree, maybe. I'm guessing. Because I know
I'm not waterproof.
I know. But like I know that these Tombow double-ended brush pens, because that's what this is. These are water-based, but on purpose, so that you can work with these almost like watercolor. Like you put a line down and then you can go over it with a wet brush and extend the line, do some shading technique, do whatever you want to do with it. I have yet to try that kind of technique, but that's what those double-ended brush pens, I think, were originally intended for. Was that sort of technique. And then people picked it up and they were like, I'm going to make the best calligraphy.
Yeah. So Gio, tuck and roll is
It's
digital,
in color.
right?
Yes, it's entirely digital.
Yes.
Do you do anything traditional, or do you pretty much all digital?
I do rough layout in traditional because of a habit that I had when I was making tuck and roll, and I was also working 13-hour shifts at a warehouse. You don't really have much time for like layouts.
Yeah.
So I would get like a blank order form or a defected order form, and I would doodle my ideas for the page layout on it at work. So I think I still have. Yeah, I just do like little stick figures, traditional, and then I like for like getting the page layout set up, and then I just make that better digitally.
Yeah. I'm actually the same. I do pretty much all of my basic layout stuff traditional, even on digital projects, just because as soon as you start zooming in on stuff, you screw up proportions and you like make things big. And having that traditional base is really helpful.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That it helps me keep to like a page size. You know what I mean? Like when I'm working traditionally, if I'm not doing it, if I don't have it like traditionally sketched out, if I'm doing something digitally, I'm always in the mindset of like, oh, I can just make the canvas bigger. I can just like squeeze the canvas out here. But you can't do that with a comic book page without messing up all the other panel layouts.
Yeah. Actually, here's free tip if you guys end up doing that traditional thumbnail thing. There are these pads you can get at like CVS or a lot of other convenience stores that are roughly the size of 4x6 index cards, but they're super cheap paper, like just a pad about this big. It's how I've done tons of thumbnails. Like it gives you like like 100 sheets at least, and it costs.
I think I know what pens you're talking about there, or what pads you're talking about there.
Highly recommended. I actually, when I was doing my second book, I ended up having to re-thumbnail an entire section and ran out of index cards, and I just ran over there. They didn't have the index cards I wanted, but they had those, and I just did like half the book in that.
Amazing. Yeah.
Nice.
Something I've discovered when I was doing my second draft of another graphic novel project is that I really like these. Now, granted, this is covered in stickers, but these are dotted line journals that you can get at Michael's.
Yeah.
And I will just open up to a random page.
Wait, is that Rhodia?
Huh? What?
They do a lot of dotted line stuff. It's a brand called Rhodia.
I'm pretty sure this is Artist Loft, which is the
Okay.
Michaels
Yeah.
generic brand of stuff, but I would not be surprised if Rhodia did stuff
Yeah.
like that. There's a ton of notebook makers out there.
Yeah.
But to give you an idea, it's, I don't know if you can see it, but it's
Try maximizing your screen. I think it'll make it easier.
hold on 1 second. There we go.
Yeah. Oh, we can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of tripping out.
Yeah, these are these are dot grid pages.
Yeah.
I originally was using them almost exclusively for journaling purposes, but I've discovered they make really great pages for thumbnailing comics because you can get like more accurate straight lines
Yeah.
with that dotted grid system. But
If
you
you
can
like
drop into
that,
whatever size you need.
yeah, definitely keep an eye out for Rhodia pads. RHODIA.
Ooh.
I used to use them as sketch pads all the time. The ones without dots, but they have the dotted ones also.
Uh-huh.
And honestly, they're easier to find than the blank ones. So if you like that, it's perfect.
There you go.
Good quality paper. It's more in like a pad setup usually, but
Okay.
like those are my go-to sketchbooks for several years. Really like them.
Nice.
By the way, just in the thumbnail thing, kind of fun thing I happen to have nearby because I just did some cost pain thumbnails.
Ooh,
This
okay.
is the only part of making cost pain that I do traditionally, but I always have a sheet of 4-coma. And
Nice.
like just pencil out stuff so I have the rough layouts.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, it's a fascinating behind the
Nice.
scenes look, this stream.
Yep.
And then I messed up my lighting. There we go. Okay.
It happens.
It happens.
Yep.
I was poking it and I shouldn't have poked it.
So we were talking about stuff you were involved in the pop-up shop creatively, like the actual products. You also did the cover for Dance Macabre, right?
Dance Macabre.
I
Yeah,
did. Yes. I did the cover art for Dance Macabre. I have copies of that on hand. Here we go. This.
That's a killer cover.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, right now I only just caught the skull. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at it from a distance and you squint, it looks like a skull.
Yeah.
And that was the objective. Yeah. No, I really like how this cover turned out. I did this cover ages ago. Sean and I took a long while to get this to print, but boy was the labor worth it. Because this is I think the only prose and poetry collection that we have in the shop.
Yeah.
So this is a collection of short stories and poetry that Sean did with me doing the cover art and helping with some behind the scenes stuff like getting it to print.
Yeah.
So yeah. Highly recommend this book if you are into like really creepy fantasy horror stuff. Like I know that in the stream that I did with Sean, he mentioned being really proud of the title short story, Dance Macabre. I will not shut up about how much I love his short story, Boys. But also The Scarecrow Man is one of the best poems that I've come across. The Scarecrow Man, I think, is in the back. Let me see.
Man,
yes.
I really wish I'd brought this with me when I went to visit my parents because I haven't had a chance to read the book yet, but it sounds exactly like what I'm in the mood for right now.
Ooh. Yeah. So, you're going to have to order a copy through crowdfunder.com/FVille Pop Shop, link on the screen and down in the description. Plug over. But yes, just overall, really pleased with this book. Yeah.
I'm glad some prose made it into there.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird because I've done a lot of types of writing and prose, and until I discovered script writing and comic writing, I was always like, why can't I get my prose to sound right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm always excited when good prose makes it in.
Yes. Yeah. So be sure to give this a try if you're into more prose books and that sort of thing. I gotta say, as somebody who has dabbled in prose writing, it is a very different beast from writing for comics. For one thing, you got to engage the senses with just your words. And it's also like being able to imbibe character into different aspects of the story other than just the like talking head characters, like being able to like portray the location that they're in as having a character of its own. The props that they're interacting with can also be characters in and of themselves, and giving the characteristics for all of that stuff. Like, it is a challenge, but like, challenge accepted.
Yeah.
I remember what always got me stuck was doing dialogue, because
Really?
well, no, it's not that I had trouble writing the dialogue. I had trouble with coming up with different ways to say someone said something.
Oh,
Do you know what I
gotcha.
mean? Like, blank, he said.
Yeah.
Blank, he said. He said blank. Blank, he exposited. Like, it gets bad. But it's so hard not to fall into that trap, especially if you're not used to it. Like,
yeah.
But that's one of the reasons I like script writing, is because you can actually just do that.
One of my kind of favorite cheats when it comes to writing dialogue scenes is rather than being like blah 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 blah, he said, I'll describe what the character is like looking at or doing, or if they're like fiddling with something in their hands, or if they're like looking out the window for a second. I'll describe like the action first, and then I will describe that. I will write down their actual dialogue. That way there's like the cue to the reader. Oh, this character who did the action is now talking.
That's funny, because that's what I do with drawing. Like, whenever I've written the scene, I'm like, what are they doing in this scene?
Yeah.
I'm not having to do some random stuff so that it doesn't look like they're just hanging out. Or, okay, this guy's making himself some coffee. Now I got to be drawing him sipping the coffee. And then I got to see it. Put down the empty coffee cup. And then
I just did.
Is the coffee good?
Is the coffee black like his soul? Yeah, not with 2 sugars and a cream, like his soul.
Like his women. I mean,
oh, that's an airplane gag right there.
Yes.
Would you like any cream? No, thank you. I take my coffee black, like my men.
Oh, that's a great movie. See, I immediately went to Dropout again. You know why. But yeah, it's one of the things that was really interesting, because I came from a screenwriting background before I went into comics.
Yeah.
And one of the big things I realized is a big leg up comics has over film is how dynamic you can get with what's happening while conversations are going on.
Yeah.
It's really tempting. In film, it's so common to do the shot reverse shot. Just the I am talking. Now I am talking, and just keep going back and forth.
Right.
And in comics, I often would find myself doing that originally. After a while, I'm like, well, there's no camera. It could be up here, like looking down at them, or I can cut outside for a second and show what's going on out there, or I can have them doing all kinds of different activities, or I can zoom in properly on their face and like really capture a moment of expression. And there's so much with comics you can do that is you can do in film, but it costs a lot more because you have to set up a billion different shots.
Yeah, or you have to build a special rig to do the motions that you want it to do. Just thinking about the behind the scenes fun fact about one of the scenes that they filmed for The Haunting of Hill House, the Netflix show. There's a scene where there's this like camera on a rolling dolly thing.
Yeah.
But they built it special so that they could keep it in like perpetual motion throughout that entire like 10 or 15 minute scene. And they had to do it in one take. And as soon as that one take was done, the entire rig was broken. Because because it was all on carpet. And so the carpet got stuck up in the wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it. Like,
yeah.
Chloe.
And you're joined by Chloe.
Hey!
A wild Chloe has appeared.
Sorry. Sorry, I'm late. I had to work late, and I got home, and my grandpa was visiting, and I forgot. I got caught up in the excitement, and then I realized, stream.
It's all good. It's all good. You gotta visit fam. What was
What
that?
is that baby you're holding? What's that baby you're holding?
This baby right here, he is a very grumpy baby. He's one
adorable.
of yes, he is precious, and he has a tail and everything, and he's got like a little wings. Boopity, boopity, boop.
Sorry, I'm trying to adjust my camera so it doesn't look like a biblical angel is up ahead.
Should have had your name just be Biblical Angel join the chat. Just cool.
A biblically accurate Chloe has joined the chat.
Next time.
Next time, yeah, the next time that we have an informal hangout stream like this one.
Yeah.
Oh, Mooney. We just put Christmas decorations out, and it looks like he's oh no. You get down. Thank you. He was playing with one of the like.
I just noticed, what is Ben petting?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not petting anything.
And we also have
know
a little tuxedo, a very formal fur baby.
Here, wait. If we're,
And then Ben has a very metallic fur baby.
Here we go.
I love them.
There was a joke earlier. They were all bringing on pets and petting them, and I got jealous, and I'm in my parents' loft right now because I'm visiting them, and all I had was this.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We decided if anyone else popped on, I'd just be stroking it and pretending nothing was wrong.
I mean, that's valid. That's valid.
Yes, absolutely. And don't worry if you feel like you missed anything. We're just like informally hanging out and talking about like, we're talking about making comics and anime and pop-up shop stuff.
Yeah.
So
Dragon Ball Z.
we've brought that up at least twice.
Oh, check it on the bingo card. Did I freeze?
It's okay. We've been freezing intermittently.
Yep.
God.
Yeah. Check off on the bingo card, Dragon Ball Z discussion, technical difficulties.
Yep.
Absolutely have to do that.
Yep, I froze. Let me go ahead and I'll set up my little icon.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Because I don't trust my computer not to crash if I try to fix the camera. So we're just gonna circumvent that.
Fair enough. Oh, you know what? Since we were talking about Dragon Ball Z, I also want to share this sketch here. It's still a work in progress, but we have Frieza. And
Yes, I saw that.
Yes.
this will be a leopard print robe.
Ooh.
Yes, it will be leopard print because
that will be my phone wallpaper.
I'll make sure to put it up on the Ko-fi site for free.
Yes.
Yes, because absolutely he needs to decorate everybody's phones, especially in that like luxurious formal drag.
Mm-hmm.
You could say it's drag and ball.
Oh my god.
Is that your next new Inktober idea?
Yes.
Dragon Ball.
Unironically, yes.
Absolutely.
Who do you take me for? Do you think I'm a chump? Do you think I wouldn't jump on that the second that it came across my mind?
This is what I was built
Who
for.
the hell do you think they are?
What you need next is an actual one of the characters is the drag king who has the actual dragon balls.
Yes. I think I know who that would be.
You're welcome.
Yes. I love this idea and we're making it happen.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Also, if you hear the budgies, they're very excited.
Technical difficult-tober.
That'd be the easiest October challenge.
The easiest. Yeah. All you got to do is have multiple people on StreamYard. That's all it takes. But yeah.
I just got a notification on my phone that my internet is acting up. So maybe that's why my camera died.
Probably. Yeah. I know that's in past experience. That's why my camera would sometimes like hiccup a bit, is because the internet will be like, I'm going to arbitrarily slow down for a second. And whatnot.
Lord.
But check that off of the streaming bingo. Technical difficulties, check.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's like slot B34 or something like that.
It froze on me earlier, apparently, while I was in the pose up.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's very close to what I froze on.
Yeah, he just went like, and I've got 2.
Yep.
You're like you were just waiting for Kelsey to high five you.
Yeah.
Permanent
I should have
high five.
high-fived you back. That would have activated the camera again.
That would have been great. It was-
Oh man, we missed it. We
We
our
missed
chance.
It was like an 80s freeze frame moment of just
Yeah.
like should have had some Van Halen
Wait,
playing.
I'll turn my camera on again. Let's see if it works.
Oh,
Do it.
Ah!
There you go.
No, the power of friendship failed us this
Wait.
time.
Bam.
Oh,
I'm doing it too.
okay.
Captain
With our powers combined,
Internet.
Captain Planet.
I'll say Captain Internet.
Come on, Captain
Captain.
Comcast. Come on, Captain Comcast. You need to come through for us.
Captain Comcast. He's sometimes there. We look like a messed up Ginyu squad, actually, speaking of Dragon Ball Z.
Yes, I was just
Oh my
thinking
God.
that. Just like, oh.
We're off-brand Comcast Ginyu squad over here.
Is that just the Ginyu squad?
No, that's Spectrum.
Fair.
Yes. Also, Chloe, you may have overheard this when we were at Hamburger Mary's. Maybe you didn't, but Alex and I were next to each other at Hamburger Mary's, and
Right.
For folks who don't know, Hamburger Mary's is a drag bar in Toledo. Fantastic place. I'm just telling them about the one of the like signature novelty cups that they have is a platform boot.
Oh.
And yeah. Oh, do you have one?
Well, I have the leg.
Okay, Alex has the
Yeah.
leg novelty glass. She's gonna bring it over real quick.
Yeah.
Just in time for Christmas.
Just in
A
time,
Christmas story.
just in time for a Christmas story. Oh my God, yes.
Italian.
Oh, with actual fishnets and everything.
Uh-huh.
Look at this.
That's a lamp.
That is a lamp.
So
Yes, it's beautiful and I love it. Eat,
That's
drink,
actual
and be
glass.
merry. That's their catchphrase.
Yes.
Eat, drink, and be merry. And I love them. I love them so much. We were there and they have this they have a kind of another one of these, but instead of a high heel, it's like a high heel platform boot.
Mm.
And I think it was you who pitched me, you should draw Krillin in those.
Yes.
Yes,
And
I
I was like-
remember this.
Yes.
Mhm.
That is a good joke. I like that.
I like it and I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah. Thank you for showing that. I really got a kick out of it.
Ah!
The platform
Ben said he
would
got
be
a kick
so
out of
high
it.
that he can actually reach Android 18.
Hold on, I was not paying attention for a second. What?
I said you need to make the platform heels so high that he's actually tall enough to reach Android 18 without trying.
Yes. Oh my God. We got to make that happen. Yes. And I was thinking Android 18 would be the drag king holding the Dragon Balls.
Yo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be real. She would. Just playing around with the
I like
leg.
how it feels.
I like how it feels too. I wish I could convey to you that this is actual like fishnet leggings on a plastic tube. And you can-
Alex, if you
Yeah.
can hear me, you need to draw Asterion wearing that.
She cannot hear you because I have earbuds in, so I will relay the message. Chloe requests that you draw Asterion in that.
Yes. You don't have to tell me when.
I've already got the sketch done.
I think that's Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, in case you couldn't
I
tell,
love my
Baldur's
sweet
Gate is
boyfriend.
currently where my brain rot is.
Fair.
To be fair, it's where a lot of the internet's brain rot is.
all my I have a bunch of friends who are deep into that, and I really need to. I'm just waiting to see if it comes to Game Pass, so I don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I did back in the day play both Baldur's Gate 1 and 2.
Nice.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's. I remember being like, "What is going on with these rules? Why are they completely destroying me? What kind of video game is this?" I'm like, "Oh, that's
Right?
Dungeons and Dragons."
It's just Dungeons and Dragons, the video game.
Specifically, it was free, which was part of the problem.
Oh my god, I need to relay this to this. Alex, Gary just recommended Asterion in fishnet and juicy shorts.
Yes.
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 Yeah, we're gonna make it happen, Captain.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't say because. Oh my god.
Yeah, we're going to make this happen, Gary. Don't you worry. Yes. What were you gonna say, Chloe?
Oh, I was gonna ask Blake, have you played Baldur's Gate 3?
I haven't got to play 3 yet. No.
Okay. I just started and I'm probably gonna restart my run. But my sister has beaten it twice now. On easy mode and hard mode.
Oh. All right.
Yeah, it is so ridiculously fun. Like 10 out of 10 recommend.
If Baldur's Gate 3, after the DLC and all that starts running its course, if you need a similar RPG fix, I would look up the Dragon Age series.
Yeah.
Those are amazing.
Yeah, that was what my sibling was hooked on, and I saw Baldur's Gate 3 and I went, oh, this is Dragon Age, but with dice mechanics. Okay.
Yeah,
basically.
I'm going to say controversial as a fantasy nerd. I have tried several times to get into Dragon Age, and it just has not worked for some reason. I keep getting hung up on Dragon Age Origins not being able to get into the controls, and I've come to the conclusion that next time I try, I'm just turning the game to easy so I can get the story. I hate doing that. I almost never do that in games, but I think I have to here.
I have never beaten Dragon Age Origins. I have started it several times. I've gotten to the point where plot starts happening, and of course, that's when life happens, and I had to leave it.
Yeah, validation. I also just want to throw this out there because my D&D group, a bunch of people are playing Baldur's Gate 3. And one of them started and was talking about their thoughts and threw out there, have met Asterion. Why do people like this guy? To which one of my friends responded, because he's a dick and I can fix him.
Like, the thing about all of the characters in Baldur's Gate is they have such complex layers to them. Like, initially, they come across as one way. But as you play through the game, depending on the choices you make, they either gain depth or lose depth. And I think it's really interesting. And it's one of those games where when people deliberately make the choices that get them the bad ending, they actually feel bad. And they're like, wait, why did this happen? And I go, because you picked the bad end. You fools.
Oh, so it's got like Undertale vibes in that way.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember in the original Baldur's Gate, I got in trouble. I was playing one of the early versions of it. I played a paladin, and I remember going into a house and taking stuff because in video games that's what you did.
Yep.
And someone saw me, caught me, called the guard. A fight started, and all of a sudden I lost all my paladin powers. Because I'd become fallen.
You can't go from Legend of Zelda logic where you can just go into some dude's house and break all their stuff and take everything.
This is like middle school, by the way. Like long time ago. Longer than I'd like to admit. But it was just one of those things like, wait, what do you mean I can't do that? What do you mean there are consequences to my actions?
Now, see, of all of the like fantasy games, so growing up, I never played Baldur's Gate 1 or 2, but there was this PS1 game called Darkstone, which was apparently a Diablo knockoff. Never knew about it until I was like old enough to get onto the internet, and then I was looking up like how to beat Darkstone because the game kept freezing on me because it was just so clunky for PS1. I mean, it kind of makes sense why it's so clunky because for some weird reason in this game, the designers for the game were like, oh yeah, it's totally logical that you would be fighting snakes in this dungeon and they would just drop clubs or other two-handed weapons.
Yeah.
It totally makes sense for a snake to drop that. What are you talking about?
Back up! The snake is armed!
I remember in the original, there were so many funny things that happened with the original Baldur's Gate. Like, you've got the starting area, which is pretty straightforward to get through. It's basically a tutorial.
Yeah.
Like, there's one or two fights that happen in it, but you usually manage to get through it, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as you leave, you're like out in this, like in the woods near where you started.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell you how many times I died in that area. Because anytime you tried to take a long rest, or whatever the equivalent was back then, it would random roll to see if an encounter happened. And for some reason, encounters kept happening and you didn't get to sleep.
Oh no.
And this was pre-death saves. If you went down, you were dead.
Oh no.
So it was tough. When you survived that first part, it was like, wait.
The game where you have to plug the controller into the other player.
That's Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, I think you're talking about
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid.
That's Metal Gear Solid. That is when you're fighting Psycho Mantis, and that is my childhood trauma. That is my childhood trauma. Was him reading my memory card save file, and like I have a vivid memory of that happening, and me going like, oh, he just guessed it. I'm gonna do it again, and he's not gonna guess it because I'm gonna put in my brother's memory card file and put my brother's memory card in. He's not gonna guess it, and he guessed it again, and I just freaked out, and I ran and told my mom.
See, I did not play Metal Gear Solid until I was like 19 or so, and I was dating an ex at the time, and he loved that game series. And I remember trying to play the game for like the first like I didn't even make it the first like 5 minutes, let alone I didn't even make it past minute 1. They booted it up, first cutscene ended. I was like, okay, how do I move? How do I jump? Because I came from Spyro Land where jump was X.
Yeah, they are.
And I'm like,
It
what
is
the heck
nuts.
is this? Because like X is also jump in I'm pretty sure X is also jump in Kingdom Hearts. It's been a hot minute since I played it, but I think Kingdom Hearts it might be square. But it's still like, usually universal jump button is X. Not so in Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, I played.
I was very confused, and then I saw my first guard, and I went, "Oh God, power button!" And I just sat.
That is great.
Panicking.
I first played it on the GameCube when it got ported, and if you're curious, what Psycho Mantis said was, "You like to play Super Mario Sunshine, don't you?"
Just imagining his voice saying that is like,
yeah, it's great.
Oh, that's wild.
Those games are great and meta, and I'm also a fan of Death Stranding, even though I know a lot of people hate it.
That was a good game too.
Yeah, I've heard some interesting things about that one.
See, my first experience with a game like that was it happened right around the same time. Undertale obviously breaks the meta of the game, and then to a more horrifying extent, Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you have a poster for that on sale, don't you?
I do.
Yes, that is available in the Fantasyville Holiday Pop-Up Shop. Obligatory plug, link going on the screen right now. Also in the doobly-doo. Check that out. It's one of the final run prints.
Yes.
Once they are sold, they are gone forever, and there's only 2 of those suckers left.
Oh, shit.
So nab them while you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I think I mentioned this to you already, Chloe. You sold one of your Evergarden prints.
Yay!
Those are also one of the final run prints.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I have to just shout out a thing that just popped in the chat because I was just thinking of this.
Yeah, y'all need to play Eternal Darkness. Oh, I know that.
Yes.
One of the best horror games ever made. It's great.
I know it because of the metagame mechanic of once you've reached a certain threshold of like, I think it's like sanity or insanity. The game starts to do things like pretend to lower and raise the volume without you controlling it, or blue screen to death, or have your character's head like pop off, go up to the screen and rotate as a Shakespeare monologue goes off, and it's like, well, this is wild.
It's great. It's funny because I also recently played Amnesia: The Dark Descent for the first time, and there's a crazy moment where bugs start crawling on the screen. They just stole that from Eternal Darkness. Like, Amnesia's great. Don't get me wrong. They totally stole that from Eternal Darkness because that happens in there, and it's messed up. It's great. Like, you're playing the game, and like all of a sudden a roach crawls across the screen. I'm like, oh, that's funny. That's a good one. What the hell is all of a sudden like roaches and centipedes and stuff start crawling all over from all the edges? It's great.
Ooh.
Oh wait, what was that? What was that one game? I just finished watching not that long ago. It was a video talking about like dark video games iceberg. And it was analyzing stuff from like a surface level of scary to like a really deep-seated level of scary.
Okay.
And it was this, I forget the name of the game. I don't want to say it was Whiteface because I think that's incorrect. But the premise of the game is every time that you die, you shortcut back to the desktop. Like it will close you out and send you straight back to the desktop. And then it adds text files to your desktop to the point where people thought it was a virus or malware going into your computer. And at the very end of the game, I won't spoil the ending if you're interested in checking it out, but the game will corrupt itself and render itself unplayable. And you have to do a hard reinstall to do that. And even then it might not work. So it's literally meant to be played through one time to completion and then you're done.
Yeah, I know this game you're talking about because Cat Icarus talks about it in his like latest Halloween special video.
I watched 2 videos and I still forgot. I'm that stupid.
I know. I forgot the name of it too, but it does involve a character that has like a white mask for a face. It's not Whiteface. I don't think it's called Whiteface, but I know which game you're talking about.
I'm gonna look it up. I'll have it on mute, but I will let you know what I find.
Okay, sounds good.
There is. Wait, is it called?
I'm just admiring the very formal kitty.
Kitty.
Could it be called?
She likes making her rounds. If you notice, she'll go on my lap. She jumps over there, then she jumps on top of here, gets my attention, then goes right down here. It's over there.
Yep, like you do.
While we're talking about horror games, I do want to shout out that I recently got to do a stream of Amnesia: The Dark Descent all the way through. Oh, so you like Castlevania? And
Ridiculous.
As someone who's done a lot of horror stuff, I'd never played Amnesia: The Dark Descent before. I'd actually seen Let's Plays of it, so I kind of knew what to expect. It is still one of the scariest games I've ever played. Highly recommend.
It's pretty creepy. Yeah.
The freakiest thing that I found was how you open the doors and how you actually manually open them.
Yeah.
And that would freak me out the most because I would try to run and close the door behind me, but I'd have to literally run, stop, grab the door, close it.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Did you get to play the Machine of Pigs?
I have not played that.
Okay. Yeah. It's the add-on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Also, Ben, you were right. It is called I'm Scared.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's what that game is.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the best way to play horror games is with your friend who's not good with horror. That's the best way to do it.
Like your friend, like right beside you as you're playing it, or
yes, or making them do it. Like it's great.
Oh no, no, don't do it. That's just mean.
When I was streaming, when I was streaming,
that's how I got my spouse.
I'm like, there's a situation where you see a monster wander by, and then you have to like wait till they pass, and then you go through. And I'm looking, and I'm walking, and I see it in my chat. Why are you going towards a monster?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Was that the wine cellar part when like You see it, yeah. You see it in the wine cellar, and you just hear that noise in your ear, just the.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it just
still
great
gives me
because,
heebie-jeebies.
like, I felt so much more empowered because someone else was freaking out for me.
The most interesting thing about horror as a video game genre is you can achieve so much with so little.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's why I adore like the RPG Maker horror games of yours.
Yes,
I don't know, but I don't know
Yes.
if you've streamed it, but Ebe is my all-time favorite.
Ebe. Yes.
Forest of
Um,
Drizzling Rain is my second favorite.
I haven't
Any
heard that.
of the Mogako games are phenomenal.
Okay. I feel
And
like I should
Kelsey,
know.
well, you
Wait,
should
is this
Mogako.
Watanohara?
Watanohara.
Okay. Mogako's the designer. Okay, it took me a second.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Watanohara and the Great Blue Sea?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Honestly, Chloe,
I-
send me a list because
Yeah.
RPG horror games are some of my favorite type of horror game, and I mostly know them honestly because of Markiplier. That's actually what got me interested in live streaming in the first place, was Markiplier playing those horror games.
Yeah.
On my channel, I think I've only officially streamed 2 RPG horror games: the Crooked Man and the Sandman.
Crooked Man. That's my third favorite.
Crooked Man is great. Sandman, not as good, but fun if you haven't done it.
Yeah.
Sandman gets weird.
Yeah.
Is that based off of the DC comics?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No.
So the Crooked Man and the Sandman are both part of the Strange Men quadrilogy, or Strange
Right
Man
with-
anthology.
Right with Slender Man?
Slender Man is not one. There's also the Boogeyman and the
Okay.
Hanged Man, which is weird because you'd think that'd be the Crooked Man, but they're.
You would think, but no.
Yeah. I own all 4 games. I'm going to stream them at some point, but
Okay.
I also want to make an RPG horror game at some point. I just need to,
Yeah.
all that
If
time I have.
if there's one that I can recommend just for the vibes, because I like seeing the playthroughs of this just for the vibes of it, Yume Nikki.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
Mhm.
Yume Nikki is basically a dream simulator. You play as and there's a technical name for this in Japanese. You basically play a shut-in. who's-
Hikikomori.
Thank you.
Yes.
A hikikomori
Yeah.
who's terrified of getting outside of her apartment. And basically the only thing that you can do in her room is go to sleep and explore the dream world. And the dream world it's an experience. I'll just put it that way.
I am. Wait a minute. It's free to play? I'm getting
Yes.
it. Done.
Yeah, it's been out for ages, but yeah, the developer put it out for free. But there's a whole bunch of there's an entire genre of games that are either an homage or I don't want to say a copy, but they definitely duplicate the formula of Yume Nikki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that drives me crazy about horror games is anytime a really good creative horror game comes out, clones start coming out like crazy that do nothing new.
Yeah.
It was bad when Slender Man came out. It was bad when PT
Five Nights at
came
Freddy's.
out.
Mm-hmm.
Five Nights at Freddy's, great example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Five Nights at Freddy's copied himself. And yeah.
I will say one very cool thing that the FNAF brand as a whole did was
Okay.
they actually started funding some of the people who made clone games of them.
Fan game.
It's
Yeah.
like, this
Yep.
is good. We want to start giving you money to do more stuff like this.
Nice.
Like Five Nights at Humpty's.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's the other one. I just forgot the name of it.
Yeah. I know that Scott Cawthon has become kind of a controversial figure, but at least credit where it's due. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
ET was abandoned by their company. Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Konami, how dare you?
Yeah. So any PS4 that has PT installed on it is kind of a rarity.
Yeah.
Save that.
I was lucky enough to get to play PT because a friend had it. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
it is
It was an experience.
I want to boop those beans. I want to boop. Can you boop those beans for me?
All right, hold on.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was half
Ben.
expecting you to like open up the stapler, pull out the staples, and boop them. It's like the
I'm trying to
Like-
boop little stands. I'm booping the stands.
that would be a painful boop. Is booping a stapler in the sharp end.
No, I figure this sharp end is the mouth. So at some point when it gets sick of me doing this, we're just gonna be like, "Hold on, wait.
Yeah.
Oh crap! This isn't one of the ones that opens up. Wait, this is the other one."
You don't want to boop from this guy.
All right.
no.
It'll be less funny because it's
You
obvious.
get one boop.
You get
And then
one
you're
boop
gone.
from this guy, but it will be your last boop.
That's it. You get one boop.
You get one boop.
The final boop.
That's
The boop
that's
of
the name.
destiny.
That's the name of that particular arc of Dragon Ball Z.
The final boop.
The final boop.
The final boop performed with a single hand with your dad's post.
The boop games instead of the cell games. It's the boop game.
Well, I never watched Dragon Ball into the Cell era. Like I never got that opportunity. But in middle school, I actually had access to the full Dragon Ball run of manga in Japanese. So I don't know exactly how it happened, but one of my favorite pieces of art from back then was Gohan doing the one-handed Kamehameha with Goku doing the two on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the best images in manga. Let's be
Yeah.
real. Hi, Mooney. Can I give you scoops?
Ben, I just
Okay.
sent you a text via Discord listing my recommendations for RPG horror. And I did include a brief description of like the content rating
Yep.
just in case.
Nice. I've heard of
Spicy noodle.
only 4 of these. This is fantastic.
Little baby.
Yeah.
I will
he's
say,
a very spicy boy.
baby.
Yeah.
He's a
I will say
spicy
this.
boy.
Unfortunately for the Mogako games, there is a streaming embargo. There didn't used to be, but the creator was subjected to some pretty bad harassment on Tumblr, and she just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna put a stream embargo up, so you can still play them and download them, and I can link you websites where you can download them for free. You will need to download you might need to download RPG Maker. Not what was it?
Well, I
You
have
may
RPG.
Was it
Maker
X?
itself,
Was it
so I hope
X?
it's able to run it.
Was it XP?
That might have been it. I forget what it was because I have a PC now, but I was playing them on a Mac and I had to run it through an emulator. But yeah, so those games you would have to play by yourself. You couldn't stream them, but I still recommend them.
Yeah. If a creator says don't stream my stuff, I do absolutely respect that.
Yeah.
One thing I'll throw out about the Strange Men series, like the Crooked Man, I actually really like how they handle it in that, where they say you can stream it, but if you do, include the credits when they come up.
Yes.
Oh,
I think it's a cool way to handle that. Like, 'cause
yeah.
it's true. I actually do often cut the credits when I'm doing replays of the edits, just because I can't justify having a video just sitting there while nothing's happening. But if they ask you to do it, do it. Small price to pay.
Oh, goodness. Mooney's
But
hanging
yeah,
out on my
I
drafting
will
table.
absolutely
over
be
here.
playing some of the stuff from that list. Mad Father's been on my list for a long time. The main thing that stopped me is I know what happens in the game, and I tend to like stuff where I don't have that experience. Unfortunately, it's the same with Ib and with Miso, but at the same time, other people don't know.
I will say this though. Apparently, I have not played the original version of Eve. I watched Let's Plays because that was how I got introduced to the genre. But
Yeah.
apparently, the Switch version of Eve incorporates a bunch of new stuff. So that's a relatively blind experience.
It got released to Switch?
It did.
Look
It
at
had a
him.
huge
Holy crap, that's
anniversary
going on
sale.
my Switch wish list immediately.
Your
Um,
Switch
Yeah.
list?
They had oh god, I think it's the 10-year anniversary of Eve, and they actually had a huge exhibition in Japan about it.
Also, I didn't see it on your list, so I'll throw this out to you, Chloe. High School of the Dead is supposed to be very good.
Is that an anime? I know there's the anime, but is there an RPG Maker game?
I believe it was originally an RPG Maker game. Let me make sure I have the right name.
Wait,
I
are you
think-
talking about Corpse Party?
Corpse Party. Why did I
Yeah,
think High School of the Dead?
Yeah.
Corpse
Lord,
Party.
I know Corpse Party.
Same idea. It's a high school and there are dead people.
Oh my god, Corpse Party.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Could you not do that? Thank you.
Also, not a horror game, but One Shot is apparently a very good RPG Maker game.
I did stream that one. That's a great one.
One RPG Maker game that I do want to play. It's simply called Off.
Yes.
I really want to play that because it's because the story of it is interesting. You play as the Batter, and you go through this like absolutely weird world, and once you get to the end, I mean, I don't know how much into spoiler territory you want me to get into. Don't know how
I
y'all
actually
feel
know
about
what you're talking about. I saw Markiplier play it.
Yeah. But one of the endings that you can play in Off is that you find the control room and you hit the off button and it turns the game off. That's one of the endings you can unlock.
Another one that just came on, I did stream this one, Omori. Omori.
I'm looking at my deluxe copy of the soundtrack. Omori might be my current favorite game of all time. I haven't even played it yet. That's how highly I rank it.
Yeah. Honestly, I was having trouble getting into that until towards the end, and then it all came together for me in a weird way. Like, I won't say anything else, but highly recommended. It's especially if you like this genre. I've been a big fan of horror for a long time, but this in particular, like the RPG horror genre, is just incredible.
Yeah. I still need to play some of it. I am a giant baby when it comes to horror stuff. So I don't tend to cater to it. I've only just recently, in the last couple of years, started to watch horror movies because...
Oh, same.
Yeah, mostly because Alex really likes to watch horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, just simply by exposure, I'm going to have to watch some of these horror movies just to get myself acclimated. And you know what? A lot of them are not bad.
There's a lot of good stuff. I've been watching a lot more horror movies lately because my buddy Ian has been on a complete horror kick. He's one of those guys who, once he gets his hooks in something, he's been watching like nothing but horror movies for a year. And so I've started really getting into some of them. And part of what I'm really nerding out is a lot of the camera work. Like that level of nerddom is what's been keeping me going. Because especially the good ones, when the timing is right, there's some fascinating work.
Yeah. Hello, Safriona.
Horror movies are amazing.
Yes.
I actually, before I got into horror, well, no, that's not true. My first foray into horror, where I was actually like, I need to sit down and watch this, was a little anime called Higurashi. And
yes,
Higurashi is phenomenal. That with me
in high school. That gripped me during high school when everybody else was watching Bleach and Naruto. I was just like, no, I'm just gonna watch this show because I was gonna be different. I watched Higurashi and just anytime anybody would offer me food after that.
Yeah.
no.
But so that was like, I got through that and I was like, it took me years to get through it. I didn't finish it until my freshman year of college. When my roommate sat me down, she was like, you need to watch this. We're finishing this.
I think I need to watch it too, just because I looked up Higurashi. This is horror?
Yeah. So quick disclaimer. There's several different versions. You want to start with the classic version, just Higurashi no Naku Koroni, or When They Cry.
When They Cry,
Then watch Kai. Kai is the second season. You could stop at Kai if you wanted. You could move on to Rei, which is an OVA that serves as the ultimate conclusion to the original story.
Okay.
Kira, the OVA series, is cute. It's not required viewing, and a lot of it is very fan servicing. Do not watch Go or Sotsu. Do not touch those with a 10-foot pole. I am not happy with either of those. Blake gets it. He gets it.
No,
he gets it.
I don't like them either.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Davy Gale's 45. The manga is way more complex. And actually, Ben, you can also stream the visual novels on Steam. And
Yeah, they're visual novels.
Yes.
That might be worth checking out, especially
fantastic.
since clearly the naming conventions of this are going to confuse the hell out of me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have not played
Yeah.
the visual novels. I can link to you a playlist. There's this YouTuber, Rose Matter. She streamed the entire series as it was available on Steam. So
Yeah.
I will send you the link to the game that she played because that's the one that is good.
I'll check that out. I'm also curious about the manga because I'm a big fan of horror manga.
Yeah.
Uh,
I also got to say, since we're talking about like streamers and the horror games, I really liked Mainly Badass Heroes playthrough of Wadanahara and the Great UC. Yeah. I always get the full name of it mixed up, but I do love Mainly Badass Heroes playthrough of that, mostly because there's one character that like as soon as she pops up, he just goes, "The fuck is wrong with your eyes?"
My other favorite moment was, and here's a funny story. Kelsey visited me in Savannah, and we streamed the entire playthrough in my room in Savannah. And it was funny because we hit pause to go to dinner, and right when we hit pause, Manly Badass Hero goes, "Oh Jesus Christ!"
Yeah, I remember that. he just in his like low deep voice, he's just like, "Oh Jesus Christ!" And then we paused it. Yeah, it's
How to end on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yeah. But going back to horror. So Higurashi was the Band-Aid ripping off.
Yes.
I almost thought of a very on-brand joke for Higurashi, but I'm not going to say what it was because spoilers.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Blake got it. I saw that look. I know what you're talking about. But what helped me get acclimated to horror was watching thrillers, because thrillers are adjacent to horror, but they don't delve into like the imagery of horror as much. So Rear Window, Wait Until Dark, and A Quiet Place. Those are three of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah.
And because of them, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go on. I was going to say, me and my spouse just watched a thriller last night. We watched The Menu, if anybody here's seen that one.
I've heard of The Menu.
Davey mentioned it in the chat. It is
Wait,
apparently
The Menu,
fantastic.
is that the Netflix
Yeah,
one?
Davey is my spouse, so.
Okay. Well, there we go.
It just so happens that they mentioned it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It did get mentioned. It says Hulu, but wasn't The Menu on Netflix? I'm thinking the Ralph Fiennes, Anya Taylor-Joy movie. Am I thinking the wrong thing?
No, that's the cast. It might have been on both.
Okay, then I'm thinking of the right thing. That movie is awesome. Also kind of funny. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
So full disclaimer, I am still a baby. I don't like getting jump scared in horror movies. So I've actually been watching, there's this channel on YouTube. It is Dead Meat, hosted by James A. Janice.
Okay.
I've seen those.
Yes. Oh my God. So he's from Detroit, actually. If I'm remembering. I could be wrong. He might not live in that area anymore. So did not mean to accidentally.
We're not judging your username, Davey. We just think that it is very humorous.
But yeah, I'll watch Dead Meat videos to determine if I want to watch a horror movie or not. And he goes into the analysis of like the making of the film, how it was made, if yes, Gary, it follows.
It follows. Yes. That is how you do horror without jump scares. It doesn't. It might. I think it had like 2 jump scares throughout the entire movie, but it's just in the background, and you're just watching a normal scene with the characters talking, and you see something like you're just watching the background for anybody to be walking.
That's exactly what you want.
It was great.
Yeah.
But
you agree, Budgies?
Yeah, to your point,
They like it too.
For the
They like
most
it too.
part, as somebody who likes horror, I don't like jump scares because it's most of the time it's cheap and it just like it doesn't make you scared. It makes you startled. That's not what I'm going for.
Yeah.
I've seen it handled well. My favorite jump scare of all time was from this weird anime series called Yami Shibai. If anyone's heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never watched it.
The whole idea behind Yami Shibai is the series of like mostly still images by different horror storytellers in Japan, and they managed to put this together. And there is one jump scare in that where I went from sitting to standing.
Oh my gosh.
Without even realizing I'd done it. And And it's one of the only times I've been like, well played.
That was me with that one viral Korean zombie comic that was
Yep.
online.
Yep. That's a good one. You don't even need to say more. I know what you're talking about.
So y'all are talking about like jump scares and stuff. I heard a knock at the door and I asked Alex to investigate and there's nobody and nothing there.
Yeah, nothing came up on my
On the ring thing?
the ring doorbell thing either.
Y-
So
oh. Okay, there's just a random knocking.
Huh.
Why are we having a Halloween stream in November? Well,
On the
December
first
now.
day of-
What is
on the
this?
first day of Christmas, this pop-up shop gave to me a jump scare because there was a knock at the door.
But yeah, one of the actually, I just referenced another one people might want to check out. It's called Host.
Yes,
it's fun because the entire thing was shot through Zoom during the pandemic.
Yes. They did like practical stunts in quarantine.
Yeah, it's wild. There's some really cool effects thrown in there, and a lot of it is actually kind of funny because it's sort of making fun of everything that could go wrong during a Zoom call while this horrible stuff is happening.
Yeah.
So very funny elements, and it's got some very good like stuff showing up in the background, like what Gio was talking about. Like there's one shot where someone's walking through their house. It's not focused on that. Like there's like 9 things in the grid, but you actually see like a ghost thing behind them that they completely missed. And it's the second time my friend had seen a movie, first time for me. I immediately made him stop and rewind because I just happened to see it. And it's like, that's good horror. You don't have to catch it everything.
Yeah. Yeah. We love
like,
good little drops.
It's like when you watch Haunting of Hill House.
Yes!
Oh my god, Haunting of Hill House.
I'll be honest. Up to this point in the conversation, I've just been like politely nodding. This is okay, cool. I'm glad everybody is jiving, talking. Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
I can talk about that show for days.
Oh my god, the ghosts in the background of that show are freaking terrifying. Like, again, I am baby. I watched these 2 British guys watching it instead of watching it by myself. But watching their reactions, it was so funny because you see one of them go like, oh, and the friend's like, what? And then they go back and they freak out.
Yeah, that's part of the trick. It's better to watch the stuff with people so you can either all be scared together or someone else can be more scared than you. Like, it's great.
Yeah. I also just love the non-linear storytelling of the hauntings themselves. Like the fact that okay, maybe this is spoilery, but the bent neck lady haunting this little girl is the adult version of the little girl.
No spoils.
Well, I'm going to spoil that, but it's like, yeah, but I'm not going to spoil the major bits. I'm not going to spoil those, but like that bit was like, oh yeah, that's when you know that this is getting good.
Speaking of, there was the comment earlier about how jump scares are cop-outs by lazy directors. There's definitely a point where that's true. I have also seen really, really good jump scares. They're one of those tools that's kind of overused and cheaply used, but if someone knows what they're doing, it can be incredible. There's this movie, Sinister. Great horror movie.
Oh no, that one.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But there's a shot in that where the jump scare was effective to me because I literally like lost half a second of time. Because it was what the jump scare showed was so horrifying. My brain just made me look away, and I don't know what happened exactly. But I literally am missing that moment. I'm like, damn, that was good.
I'm gonna have to check that out then. I do want to bring up because Arch of Winter was like, I want some more sci-fi horror that isn't about aliens or rogue AIs, actual ghosts. Might I recommend Event Horizon?
Oh yes, Event Horizon.
I unironically love this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
What else is there? Oh God. I'm trying to think because I like creature flicks. I like creature horror. I'm a classic Frankenstein fan. What is if you like werewolf movies?
I think I know where you're going with this.
We talked about this at the Halloween party.
I think I know where you're going with this.
If you want a really good werewolf horror movie, I have heard Ginger Snaps is very good.
Ginger Snaps and
It's
Ginger Snaps
also-
Back.
Yeah, there's Ginger Snaps, American Werewolf in London, and then if you want silly dumb werewolf movies, there is Silver Bullet
Yes.
and Dog Soldiers. Dog Soldiers is a British werewolf horror film. It's
Dog
really
Soldiers was a good one. Yeah.
I will
Another one.
because it'd be around that same era. The Howling.
Yes.
The Howling. That one, as it goes along with all the subsequent Howlings, starts getting into the funny territory. Because then they start with
I've seen a review of the second Howling, which is like Howling Sturga Werewolf Bitch.
yeah.
Which was the European title. They changed it for America, and the reviewer I was watching saw this was like, "Why? That's a great title."
Is that the one that's known as Your Sister is a Werewolf?
Yes, that's the American title, but it was Sturga Werewolf Bitch in Europe.
Oh my god.
It's a great name, but
That
any,
is a great name.
but yeah, it definitely is a series of, from what I hear, immediately went downhill. Christopher Lee.
Yeah, the third one. Yeah, the third one is it takes place in Australia, and they're marsupials instead of werewolves. So it's like
I'm just picturing a baby. I'm just picturing a baby kangaroo just popping out with vampire fangs, like
no, they base it off of that extinct Australian marsupial that was like a wolf. That it looked like a wolf, but it's like it was closer related to marsupials.
A Tasmanian tiger?
A wergaroo.
Or a loop.
No, it was the I can't think of the name of it, but it was related to that. It was like more like I'm gonna Google it.
Okay.
I'm just picturing like a little werewolf crawling out of a pouch.
No, they did have pouches.
A koala.
They did have pouches, but it wasn't a koala.
Okay.
I feel like the way you were describing it, I'm like, is it a Tasmanian tiger or a thylacine or?
A thylacine, I think. Okay. I might have.
We're narrowing it down. Folks.
Yeah. While you're looking it up, if you like older horror, it's like what we were just talking about is roughly 80s and period like that. If you want to go back to Hammer stuff, I actually saw a really fun. There are a couple Edgar Allan Poe stories that were very loosely adapted into Hammer films with. Oh crap! I'm blanking on his name.
Christopher Lee.
Price.
Oh, Vincent Price.
Yeah. The one I recommend the most is Fall of the House. Pit and the Pendulum.
Ooh.
It's genuinely pretty good for like older horror stuff. I also watched right after that The Raven, which is a comedy. But very fun. Just go into it knowing not to take it seriously. It was weird whiplash going from Pit and the Pendulum to Raven, but both are a lot of fun.
Okay, it is based off of thylacine.
Nice.
But it's called Howling the Marsupials.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have pouches, and they have pouches.
Yeah.
But they're werewolves, but with pouches.
Mm-hmm.
Going to slightly more modern horror stuff for a second, especially since it's kind of related to jump scares because these guys are bad about it. I've been watching a lot of guilty pleasure horror recently with Paranormal Activity.
Mm-hmm.
And the one good thing I will say about it is that series, when it does camera work, can get really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then later when it gets to jump scares, gets really bad. But like, it's kind of fascinating watching some of the blocking stuff that they set up when they were smart about it. They actually had a thing in the third movie where they were supposed to take place in the 80s, and for some reason they still had cameras all over their house. Go figure. They're just VHS. Like, you're going through 1,000 tapes a day. But one of the cameras, he actually disassembled an oscillating fan and attached it to it. And so there's this great constantly panning back and forth at a fixed rate shot. And they have such beautiful blocking to set up scares, most of which are not jump scares.
Ooh, okay.
Like,
if you can turn off your brain for a while and you want to study like really good shot work and decent and pretty good horror timing, marathon a couple of those movies.
Okay.
I personally would stop after 3.
Okay.
But
I mean, I've not seen any of those. Since we were talking about Hammer horror, one of my favorite homages to Hammer horror, because I've not seen a proper Hammer horror, but knowing that this film is a homage to it, I'm like, I get it. Sleepy Hollow, the Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
it's such a weird movie.
It's such a weird movie, and I love it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not only is it an homage to classic Hammer films, it's an homage to giallo horror with like there was this interesting review I watched where it was talking about why Sleepy Hollow works. And
Okay.
it's because they purposely oversaturated the color of the blood, because in Italian horror they would oversaturate the blood to get it past censors. It kind of follows the same rule as the psychopop genre, which Ben will know psychopop because that's literally just Danganronpa.
Yeah.
Huh.
We've had conversations about Danganronpa.
Danganronpa.
One of these days we'll do a special stream just so you two can talk about that series.
Wait till after I've played 3, just because it'll make it a much better talk.
Okay.
All right. Speaking of streams, it's about 9 o'clock. I'm probably gonna have to hop off of this one.
Totally fair. Thank you for joining us for as long as you have. It has been a blast, my dude.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure talking with you all again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been
It was
great
nice to
chatting
meet
with
you.
Seeing you.
Yeah.
See ya.
Take care.
Yep.
Bye.
Oh.
Is my camera still frozen? Let's check. Yep.
I wanted to give you a high five.
I just want to have the horror moment where you click back in and something's behind you, but it's still frozen.
Oh my God.
Like that one,
My internet is not cool enough to accomplish that.
like that one freeze frame thing from Too Many Cooks.
one of the budgies is just
Yeah. At some point, while I still have long hair, I need to cosplay the Too Many Cooks serial killer.
Oh
But
gosh.
yeah.
Yes.
Going back to like talking about Halloween guilty pleasures.
Mhm.
Gosh, I don't know if this would count as a Christmas movie or a Halloween flick. Violent Night is so dumb and fun, and I love it.
I really want to watch that. I saw a commercial for that and I went, this looks dumb. I have to watch it.
that the
It's
recent
Die Hard
thing?
if Santa was Bruce Willis.
Yes, I gotta watch this.
Is this the recent one? Because there have been a couple Christmas horror movies, but I know one just came out.
Yes, it is the one with David Harbour as Santa and John Lithgow. Not John Lithgow. John Leguizamo is the bad guy.
Of course, John Leguizamo is.
That sounds great. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Looking
I
it
will
up
say
now.
this: if you watch it, you will never hear Bryan Adams' "Something About Christmas Time" the same way again.
Oh.
Oh,
It's
this is
set-
not the one I was thinking of, but yeah.
Oh.
There's one that just came out this year. This is from last year, but
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Okay.
I'll check it out. And it's got a similar type of name. That's the problem. Like half of the holiday ones, you mix the names up of.
Yeah. Okay. Quick question, because I don't know if I'd classify this as horror, but it definitely has some like gothic horror like visuals to it. Have either of you seen Wendell and Wild?
I have not seen it yet. I
No.
need to see it.
You gotta watch it. It's by the same. It's by Leica, the same studio who did Coraline and Kubo and the Two Strings, etc. Yeah, Wendell and Wild. It's black punk, but it's also demons, and it's great.
I'm here for it.
So I'm looking it up. Quick note: it is not a Leica film. It
Oh.
is
Okay.
It is Monkey Paw Productions and Henry Selick.
Okay. So Henry Selick is involved in it. That's where I was getting mixed up.
No, yeah, I make that mistake all the time, and then I feel dumb.
Yeah. But it is
Wendell
a
and
stop
Wild
motion
are voiced
film.
by Key and Peele, and I'm here for that.
Yes. Key and Peele are they are Wendell and Wild, the demons.
Yeah.
You go.
Yeah. It's
You
great.
okay?
Highly recommend it. It had been on my radar, but then old college buddy Natasha, who's Black Gothic Lolita a fashionista, was like, "You need to watch this movie, Kelsey," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll go watch it." And then I watched it. And it was great.
Yeah, it's
Also,
funny. Oh, go ahead.
oh no, I'm sorry. You go ahead, and then I'll go.
I was gonna say I'm trying to think of horror movies that don't use jump scares because I also know I'm pretty used to jump scares, so they don't affect me, and I don't want to recommend something that is going to be hated.
Right.
But I did recently see Talk to Me. Highly recommend at least researching that one. One of the best horror movies probably one of the best movies I've seen this year.
Ooh.
I just watched the kill count for that, which is the Dead Meat show that I was talking about. Yes, Australian horror. Here for it.
Yeah, I need to look up her name. The lead actress of it absolutely killed it. And it was her first like feature leading role.
Ooh.
Also, going back to the topic of horror games, one that's on my radar and is now getting on everyone else's radar, Dredge.
I've heard of
wanna
this.
play that so bad. I just needed to come to Game Pass.
I watched one of my favorite HoloLive streamers, Shinri. He streamed it, and it was kind of
That's where I had heard it from. He popped
Yes.
up on my subscription feed as playing Dredge, and I'm like, I need to watch that.
It's a cozy game because it's a fishing game, but it's a fishing game if you accidentally uncover eldritch and Lovecraftian horrors in the oceans that you're fishing.
This
okay.
is two things I very much like. Like I love cozy games, and I want horror stuff to happen in them. I also need to shout out in the chat just because it doesn't get that much love. I also like the Silent Hill movie.
Yeah. Well,
I need to see it.
okay. Sorry, you mentioning that it's a cozy fishing game, and you bring up eldritch horrors. I can't help but think that you're like fishing off the coast of Rhode Island, and suddenly you catch one of the Dunwich horrors. And just pull up this like potato covered in eyes.
Yeah,
and
you throw out a net, pull it up, and it's one of the dudes from Innsmouth, and he's like, "Come on!"
Yep, he's just like a fish person, and he's just like, "Guy, I was blah. I was out on the ocean."
That actually also reminds me. I'm not sure if it's on anything, but there's a Call of Cthulhu movie made a few years ago, but it's in. Or actually, I say a few years. I just realized I saw it almost 10 years ago. But
ouch!
It was made like an old silent film, like black and white and all that stuff. It's really good if you can find it.
What is it called?
Call of Cthulhu.
Okay.
It's an adaptation of this Lovecraft story, and it's done like a silent film, but with some modern storytelling sensibilities, because it's actually kind of hard to watch a lot of old silent films. It's really well handled.
I also know there's a video game for Call of Cthulhu now.
Yeah, I know there have been a couple. The most recent one I had trouble getting into, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
That's a title that gets tricky. Although the tabletop RPG is great.
I've heard good things about the tabletop RPG. I've yet to play it.
I got almost killed, and then they decided I was slightly not dead, and I just went crazy. It was very cool.
Yeah, that's typically how characters go in Call of Cthulhu.
There was a situation where there's a thing we couldn't see was loose in this house, and my character we thought got killed, and while everyone else ran. And while looking over the rules, because we were all new to it, we realized, I was supposed to get something equivalent to death saves. So the DM just went, "Oh, wait. Yeah, it isn't fair, is it?" I was just like, "It's fine if I'm dead, whatever." But they were like, "No, you wake up badly wounded in this house." And I'm there. Everybody's left me. They locked the door to the basement behind them. And I'm stuck down there with a thing that if it hears me is going to kill me. It was such a better ending. But
that's a really good ending.
I had to very sneakily get my way out of the house and then just ended up checked into an asylum. I'm like, cool, this works. I am alive in an asylum, and this is massive improvement, and I'm playing my backup character.
By the way, totally off topic. Complete 180 from horror, the horror genre. Kelsey, did you see the recent trailer for the next Kingdom Hearts thing?
No.
I can't tell if that's a yes or if it's really no.
I genuinely have not watched it yet, but now I'm really excited to watch it. So I'm gonna have to watch it.
It's like, anyways, thanks. The stream's over. Stream's over. Everyone gotta go.
Good night, everybody. Woo. I feel like I'm blanking on her name, but she's a VTuber. I feel like her being like tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I have her art. Hold on. I have her print. Let me grab it. This is a stream about the pop-up shop. I feel like I should mention this. Hold on. Let me see if I can find her. Is she in this stack? No! Gosh dang it! Ah!
While she's looking for this particular drawing, Ben, you're gonna randomly start getting clips from like that one streamer I was telling you about. Yeah, there she is. That's,
There you go.
Ina.
Tomorrow. Yes. Also, this is available in the pop-up shop. Link in the doobly-doo. Only a limited number of these left.
Yeah.
So, there you
by
go.
the way, the stream you guys did a little while ago was basically how I learned what VTubers were. I'd heard the term, I just didn't know what it was.
Nice.
You're welcome.
And shortly afterwards, I don't know how public they want their stuff, but a mutual friend of Kelsey's and mine who's start getting into VTubing had me do a commission. So that was fun.
Nice.
Like, now I know what this commission stuff is about.
Nice.
Yeah. I know which person you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know what degree to talk about it, but
That's okay.
Yeah.
I will promote them as soon as I'm allowed to promote them. So if you happen to pop in the chat and see this, let me know.
Yeah. Or if you catch this on the replay, there you go.
That's true.
Yeah, because this will be available as a replay shortly after we go live. So there we go. Oh my gosh. All the tea is catching up to me. Yes. Also, I highlighted this earlier, but I'll bring this up here. Gary brought up, I am thankful this stream is happening after the Steam Autumn sale. Yeah. And and also self-plug, if you still have money to spend, check out the holiday pop-up shop. We're only open for like 3 more hours. Crowdfunder.com/FVille pop shop. Link on the screen and down in the doobly-doo.
Yep. We all have stuff
Anyways.
in it. We actually didn't finish going over all the stuff Chloe has.
Oh
Oh
god.
my gosh.
I feel
I
like
mean-
I've been plugged plenty of times though. Like you didn't
We did do an entire stream for your stuff. So, and if you would like to check that out,
yeah,
go to my
I
YouTube channel.
appreciate it, but we should plug everyone's art if we're gonna plug mine.
You know,
Oh,
that's
you
actually
know-
a fair point. We should plug the people who haven't shown up yet, like who weren't able to
Yeah,
make-
I just thought of one. Hold on, I'm bringing them up now.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, this is Junior Vigorito. I have one of their books.
Junior.
Junior. This is Gwynny the Goblin in Hourly. It's so heckin' cute.
That
The
is so cute.
Yes, the if either of you're both probably familiar with the artist challenge of Hourly Comic Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is Junior's take on it. And it's basically asking the question, what does Hourly Comic Day mean to somebody who already struggles with the concept of time? Like, hold on, I just showed it a second ago. Let me bring it back up. This entire page.
Oof, I feel that.
Yeah. Where you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Then I don't know what time it is, but I knit. And I knit.
Valid. So
Yes.
valid.
It's so valid, but also like just to balance that out, because the entire book is not like that. Because there is some cute. Let me bring up. This is my favorite 2-page spread here. Page 1 is at the bus stop, and then page 2, you see the little orc pulling the bus.
That's
he's
great.
He's doing his best.
He's doing his best. He doing him best.
That's a living.
It's a living. Yeah. But yes, highly recommend this book. It is also available in the pop-up shop.
Yeah.
There's this one, and they also did another book called The Divine Intervention. I will talk about this for days if you give me the opportunity to.
I love Divine Intervention. It is so good.
It's so good. It's so good. So I'm pretty sure Junior will not mind if I pitch it like this. It's a divine version of it's like Lilo and Stitch meets Tale of Princess Kaguya.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like, you know, there's the chaos deity vibes of like, I am going to crash into this world with my entire pantheon and we are going to bless the humans. What do you mean I'm a shrine priest? Why are you relegating me to shrine priest? Are you kidding me? And then they meet this little farmer girl here, and chaos ensues. Hold on, let me see if I can show my favorite panel. There it is. One of my favorite panels.
Beautiful.
Bees!
Bees!
I love it.
Yes, hold on. I got another favorite one. It's one where it's like all the deities are like, I summon the warmth and the vibrant rays. I summon the harvest, the fruits and the trees. I summon locusts and a bunch of bees. Yep.
I am going to need to pick this up.
You are going to need to pick this up. It is so good.
I'm actually flipping through the store. It's like, how much is this? What's my budget?
Speaking of comics that our viewers should absolutely pick up, we should talk about the Less Than Secret Cryptid Anthology.
Yes, hold on, I'm grabbing it.
Aw.
It's an anthology of short comics, yes.
Yeah. So there are two anthologies from my group, Canterite Productions, in this. We talked about them a little at the beginning of the stream, but Less Than Secret and What the Gnomes Know. Basically, during lockdown, we were trying to figure out what to do. A buddy of mine, Rainer Cannonstein, and I both were like, we have some ideas for publication projects. Let's start by making anthologies. And we discovered making anthologies is awesome. Let's keep doing this.
Yes.
So we just grabbed a bunch of creators we knew were like, hey, cryptids, that's the theme. Let's do it.
Yep.
Kelsey, in the smartest managerial or smartest marketing decision that they've ever made in their entire life, picked the Mothman as their story.
Yes.
Which
I did.
Has sold more copies of Less Than Secret than any other thing.
You're welcome.
For
as soon as you announced we're going to do cryptids, I went, I am doing the Mothman. No one else is allowed to do the Mothman.
That is a sign you know Ohio better than I do.
Yes.
But yeah, it ended up being an incredible project, one of the best things I've ever worked on. And then we tried to make Lightning Strike again, and we did a great job.
Hold on, I'm bringing that up.
Bring that up too. We went with color.
We went
and the
with
theme of gnomes.
Yes, and we did gnomes.
Actually, fun little companion thing.
Yeah.
This one of the stories in there by Ariane McRae and Rainer Cannonstein, Necronomicon.
Bringing it up.
By the way, there are so many pun names, even in like the serious stories in No Man's Land. But yeah, Necronomicon, that takes place in the same D&D setting as my floppy comic that I just released, Family Business. Exact same setting, different characters. So fun little tie-in if you happen to get that stuff. But yeah, we went with, yes, bring it up. They are tied.
They are tied. Intrinsically tied.
But yeah, we're actually working on the next project. I can't say too much, but we actually have started to get stuff in today. Like we officially have things. By the way, Kelsey, thank you for getting that stuff in with the early deadline.
No problem.
And we have kind of a rolling deadline thing going on right now. I don't want to go into too much detail with it, but we have officially gotten almost enough to have a book ready to go. So hopefully first quarter next year, we'll be doing a crowdfunding campaign for that.
Heck yeah.
Real excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. and this might be too soon to announce it, but I'm going to go ahead and tease. I'm looking into running an anthology with Fantasyville Productions next year.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for that.
Ooh.
Yes. Once I get more details figured out, I'll be reaching out to peeps who I want to work with for that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Chloe, we need to bring you in on these anthologies. What's happening?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. I need to get involved in anthologies, but then I look at my schedule for the coming year and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, because like you're
I
gonna be
feel
going to Japan next year at some point.
Yeah, just for 2 weeks. But I mean, I would love to get involved with more anthologies and stuff.
Heck yeah. I mean, there's always room for like cover artists and single page illustrations and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's that, or full comics. We're good with anything.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to Fantasyville doing an anthology because as someone who has now run several anthologies, it's a lot of organizational stuff, and that is not what I'm good at. Kelsey's good at organizational stuff.
I mean, obviously, or else I wouldn't be doing this holiday pop-up shop at the place.
I think Kelsey running an anthology is going to be fantastic.
Oh, I hope so. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, knock on all the wood. I'm gonna.
That's not wood. That is your head.
Yeah, but I'm a blockhead.
No.
Hold on, knock on wood. Ow! My head.
I would attempt that, but I actually don't know if the desk I don't know if this is MDF or if it's wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just tell us you did it. We won't know.
Yeah.
Here, wait.
Neither of my desks
There
are
we go.
made of wood.
I did it. I taste colors now.
Now tell me, what does his birthday smell like?
No.
I said that in a D&D campaign once, and it was great.
Here's a fun thing you guys will appreciate. My mom is currently helping a friend put together a cookbook. There's like a little family booklet for some of their relatives, and my mom has insisted on putting the book together, which has been very cathartic. I've been like, do you want me to help? I do this for a living. And like, no, I have it. And then just cussing under her breath. While trying to figure stuff out. I was like, why do you want the text to be different colors? What's going to happen? Meanwhile, the friend's emailing like, the printer wants CMYK. Do you know what that means?
Oh no.
Yeah.
You really should step in.
I stepped in a little today just to be like, okay, let me change the file to CMYK, see what happens. Okay, this text is going to completely change color and everything else is probably fine. Here you go.
Okay.
But it was just kind of great just sitting there like, okay, you're starting to understand what I do every day.
Uh-huh. See, my mom doesn't even make any attempts. She's just like, you're doing your thing and that's great.
But it's just one of those moments where the parent's like, no, I can do this. And I'm like, I do this for a living. Are you sure?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It'll take me a couple minutes.
Are you sure I can help you?
Exactly.
Help you. I am having way too much fun playing with the little plushy cell here.
Do I need to bring the stapler back out?
You might need to bring the stapler back out.
I would bring the dinosaur back out, but my camera had to be a little bitch and die.
It's okay. The dinosaur is in our hearts.
Just share your screen and do it like a picture of a dinosaur.
We could totally do that.
Wait, I missed it. What happened?
We can totally do
a picture of a dinosaur.
Yeah, share a screen of a picture of a dinosaur and we can totally make that happen. Oh my god, I love it. Yes. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. No, you should do. Hey, Kelsey.
Yes.
Perfect.
Hold on, that's inappropriate. Oh gosh,
That's impressive.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah. We are at the, for people who are not watching and only listening to us as background noise, we are balancing things on our heads. Although I feel like mine's a little bit easier because I have a hat.
Yeah.
And Ben's might be a little bit easier because his is flat on the bottom.
Meanwhile, Chloe is balancing 3 billiard balls on her head and
The-
like contact juggling them with her scalp.
The way you said that, it reminded me of Isle of Dogs, where she's like hopping around on her hind legs, and she's like, normally I'm juggling 3 bowling balls on my head, but you're just gonna have to imagine that.
Yeah.
Oh
But-
my God. Speaking of Isle of Dogs, sorry, I have to gush about Grand Budapest Hotel for a minute.
Yes,
'Cause-
please do.
Yes, because thanks to a recommendation from Sean during his live stream link on my YouTube channel, he recommended Grand Budapest Hotel, and I finally watched it the other night, and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Wait, have you never seen it?
I watched it for the first time like a couple of nights ago, and
Oh my God.
it's so good.
That reminds me, there was actually a fairly recent Wes Anderson thing that was really cool.
Oh, Meteor City, I think it was called. It's
Not that
That's
one.
Great
He
City.
actually did like a short show. I might have only seen the first episode.
Oh, are you talking about the anthology, the Raw Doll anthology?
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
I've only seen the first episode. It was fantastic. It is called, and it's on Netflix. I know that.
Okay.
Come
I'm
on.
gonna have to check out this
IMDb
series.
that's so slow on a computer. The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
it
to
is.
check that out.
It's incredibly weird. The entire thing is
Mhm.
they're telling the story, but the actors are literally reading the book, like all the narration and stuff, while
Ooh.
acting it out.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's got Ray Fiennes, Benedict Cumberbatch,
Dev Patel.
Gosh.
Dev Patel. Thank you. I was trying to remember his name. It's very cool and honestly not that long. Very easy watch. Highly recommended.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Ben Kingsley too. I forgot about him.
Nice. Oddly enough, one of my favorite YouTube channels, Shay Farillas, he just had a video ranking all of the Wes Anderson films,
Really?
including the short films. And Grand Budapest Hotel, spoiler alert, was number 1.
Of course it was.
That one's great.
up to
I love
Yeah.
I'm blanking on his name. He's the bad guy in it.
Which one? Because there is the hired assassin and
That's
there was
true.
and
It's the
Adrian
grandson
Brody.
or something like that who's demanding all the
yeah, Adrian Brody is the
Adrian
the
Brody, that's
spoiled
it,
rich,
yeah.
the spoiled rich boy who hired the assassin to you basically clear everything out so that Adrian Brody could inherit everything.
You
yeah.
would not believe how many days or how many times a day on a daily basis I wind up quoting Adrian Brody from that movie going, "What's the meaning of this shit?"
It's so good. I know this is kind of spoilery, but I do love the scene where because I was on the edge of my seat when this happened. It's like when they're on the mountains and there's the one guy hanging off at the edge and the assassin is looming over him and stomping and the ice is cracking and the
Is this to
concierge
be
is
the
just,
end? Cried the
this is
lonely
the end,
person.
and he's doing his monologue, and then suddenly the lobby boy just pushes the assassin off the edge, and he's like, "Holy shit,
you got him!"
Yeah, I need to watch more Wes Anderson. I had a bad experience when I was younger watching
Oh,
the Royal
no.
Tenenbaums, and
Oh yeah.
Oh my god!
Everything
Okay,
for me.
so Royal Tenenbaums was also the first movie of Wes Anderson's that I ever watched. We watched that for an intro to film class, and
Yeah.
the distinct memory that I have of that is one, some of the composition shots because they were well composed. The
Yeah.
other thing I distinctly remember is the fact that all of my classmates were packing up their things right as the credits were beginning to roll. like a second before the credits were beginning to roll. They were like, "This movie is over, thank fuck," and they were like packing up their things
Yeah.
and getting ready to leave.
So
Wes Anderson is one of those directors who you either love him or for some reason people really just don't like his stuff. And I'm like, I need to watch his entire filmography, but from what I
Yeah.
have seen, I adore the way he makes movies.
one of the things that's tough, I saw Royal Tenenbaums in theaters, which was
Oh.
2001. So I was much, much younger and
Mhm.
not, my tastes have changed a lot in that time,
Mhm.
which might be why I liked Grand Budapest Hotel so much. I'm like, oh, now I need to check this old stuff.
The other problem, I am very much of the belief that watching movies with people is the best way to do it. But how they respond to stuff is going to affect how you respond to stuff.
Yeah.
I was in a theater with the Royal Tenenbaums. First off, I went with my parents because I was a kid at the time, and they hated the movie. And number two, the audience didn't particularly like it either. Like, it was mostly a silent audience in the theater.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a comedy. They're like, they had a couple moments where people chuckled or laughed, and that was about it.
Oof.
And in my head, I'm like, okay, this was a bad movie. I know so many people who love the Royal Tenenbaums. So at some point, I need to give it another shot.
Yeah, I then saw the Grand Budapest Hotel thinking, I'll give Wes Anderson another shot. And I'm so glad that I did, because like the Grand Budapest Hotel, I feel like is some of the best humor in a movie, period, that I have seen so far.
The scene where the police arrive at the hotel and he goes, I was afraid of this. She's been murdered. And you think I did it. And then he books it. And it just holds on it does not move. It just holds on the shot of the
It just holds on the shot of him running up the stairs, and then the police are like, wait a second, and then they run after him.
Yeah, I love that. I knew exactly what you're talking about. For some reason, the moment I always remember from Grand Budapest Hotel is with Adrian Brody, where he's dropping the F word, the other one.
Oh, yeah.
That scene where he's like, how does me sleeping with your grandmother make me that? And he has to think about it for a second. He goes, you're bisexual. I don't know why, but that always kills me.
I found the storyboards for that scene on YouTube. I found the storyboards and they're so funny. I showed it to my class and we were losing our shit.
I gotta say, knowing that Wes Anderson films, I don't know if it's entirely true, but I would believe it for Grand Budapest Hotel. Knowing that they are storyboarded makes how the film is structured makes so much more sense, in my opinion.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because there was just an interview on Sunday morning talking about Ridley Scott's new movie, Napoleon. And Ridley Scott storyboards all of his films himself. He does the key scenes, and that's what he pitches to people to get them to make his movies.
Oh,
and
I believe it.
Basically, like, it started with like very rough sketches of like the dinner scene in Alien, and now, like with Napoleon, he presented an entire picture book basically of storyboards.
Amazing.
I remember seeing a behind the scenes stuff for the movie Desperado. Robert Rodriguez, one of his earlier ones, and one of the things that it showed is Robert Rodriguez storyboarded this fight scene in a cantina. And the thing that was crazy, Robert Rodriguez is one of those guys who's done like every part of film except acting, as far as I can tell. I've never caught him acting in anything, but he's done all the other stuff. His storyboards looked like Frank Miller comics. It was crazy. Like he's like, yeah, I drew it myself. And I was like, you're just too cool. Stop it.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I really want to see more of the storyboards for Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, because that movie in its entirety was storyboarded. And I'm like, this explains so much. It also explains why I love it so much.
I have to ask, I've heard of very few movies that weren't storyboarded. Is that becoming less of a thing?
No. So the thing is, storyboards for animation are much more prolific, because storyboarding for animation is like, it's much more hyped up as a job and as a considerable and viable amount of work. Live action films, they get storyboarded just as much as an animated film, but they often do not get posted as often, which is why I was stunned that I found storyboards for Wes Anderson. So they exist. You just have to dig. I actually have a whole book on classic movie storyboards, and there's boards from The Birds, and a bunch of classic Hollywood films. I'll have to, if I can find it after the stream, I will text you guys the title of the book.
Please do. I would love to look at that. I love looking at storyboards for stuff.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun. And with animation, a lot of it, they're actually trying to capture keyframes, aren't they? It's not just the scenes.
Yeah, so it depends on the production. In some cases, the storyboards will be extremely rough. In other cases, so for example, Steven Universe is an example of the opposite, where Rebecca Sugar and the team at Cartoon Network know exactly how they want the animation to look. So they will storyboard all the keyframes for the animators to put together. But then for other episodes, they leave it more loose and open to interpretation. It just depends on the level of control that you have over it. If you're outsourcing, you just want to make sure that it's clean and clear and easy to understand. If you're completing it all in-house, you can do whatever the heck you want.
Yeah, which kind of explains, Chloe, you might know this. I mentioned this in a previous live stream. There is a cut on YouTube for The Thief and the Cobbler, the recobbled cut.
Yes.
Which I love looking at this thing, no matter how many more iterations get improved upon it. But I love looking at it because it's so fascinating to see like the finished animation and then it cuts to the storyboards. And the storyboards are just like colored pencil drawings.
Yeah.
And I love them so much.
If anyone hasn't seen it, there's actually a great documentary about the making of The Thief and the Cobbler and how it went wrong. I'll see if I can find the name. It's kind of fascinating because I remember hearing this story. I'm like, oh, Miramax, you evil corporate behemoth ruining an artist's vision. He kind of screwed himself, if we're being real.
There were, I remember reading this somewhere where there was like an animator or somebody who looked at like The Thief and the Cobbler as it was intended. And the animator just went, why didn't he just use a Xerox machine for this?
Yeah, no, it was.
Why did he feel the need to draw this by hand every time?
The documentary is called Persistence of Vision.
Ooh, okay.
And yeah, it goes through the studio. Like this guy put together the studio just to make this movie, and it was he was working on it for decades. And in the meantime, making other stuff. The studio's most famous production was they did all the animation for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And like they did some ads and some other stuff, but that was all the fun working on this project. And like finally, he needed more money, so he went to Miramax and like, okay, you're either going to finish it in this amount of time, or we claim it and we're going to do whatever we can with it. And he didn't finish it in that time, and they took it and they redid some stuff and had Matthew Broderick voicing a silent character. It was, I've heard that version's pretty bad, but the recallable cut, if you find it on YouTube, is great.
Yes, the recallable cut is quite good.
So fun fact, my first year at SCAD, my animation foundations teacher, she worked with Richard Williams at his studio, and she had some stories about him.
Yeah, it seems like he was a piece of work.
Yeah, he was very much a piece of work, both in a good way and in a bad way. But that's, you get that with all the famous people. Like I hear Hayao Miyazaki has become quite spicy in his old age.
Yeah, so. I've also heard legend that Bill Peet, the director of The Sword and the Stone, modeled Merlin after Walt Disney himself. And whenever Merlin is like, he's your pupil, you teach him. That is apparently something that Walt would do a lot.
I'm gonna grab some water real quick. I'll be right back.
Now I want to watch Sword in the Stone again, and that's been a while.
I know, right? But it's a good movie.
It's true.
It is wild to hear some of the audio splicing for Arthur, because you can tell that the voice actor aged during the production of the movie.
Here's some fun trivia with Thief and the Cobbler, which you can catch from the recobbled cut. In the entire movie, the main character, the cobbler, has one line of spoken dialogue.
Yep.
And do you know who does the voice?
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
It is my favorite bit of trivia about the recobbled cut.
And it's great because the voice doesn't fit the character at all.
That's what's so funny about it.
It's like, I'm apparently a cobbler. I don't know how this showed up on my resume, but it's here.
The thing about the recobbled cut, or not the recobbled cut, the Miramax version, I have seen it. It's not that it's, I wouldn't even say it's bad so much as it just, in their attempt to get it out there and make back the money,
Mm.
They tried to make it more accessible to more audiences, and I think that's where the problems lies, because they were like, well, we need to make back all this money that we lost. Let's make it just like they would make a Disney movie. And in some cases, like, I don't mind the voice acting, and in other cases, it's just like it's not bad so much as it's misguided.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, and I think without it, I don't think people would even know The Thief and the Cobbler existed. So for that matter, I'm glad it exists, but I 100% say, like, watch the recobbled cut.
Yeah.
Like,
it's kind of out there, like the original version of the movie Dune, which is also a great documentary about. The Jodorowsky Dune looks like it would have been insane.
I still have yet to see that, but I kind of want to see it. Just knowing the behind the scenes stuff for movies intrigues me just as much as like the actual movie itself. Like, knowing some of the behind the scenes stuff for Event Horizon is like, if you know some of this stuff, since I know we were talking about horror movies earlier, and this is a diversion from animated films, but hear me out. This is a fun fact behind the scenes thing. So one of my favorite behind the scenes facts about Event Horizon is that there is a scene where the crew finds the footage from the old ship. They're sent on a rescue mission to recover a ship called the Event Horizon, and they don't find the crew there. The crew is missing, and all they find is corrupted footage. So they have to take the disc, and they have to correct the footage and uncorrupt it and see if they can gather any clues from that footage once it's recovered. They recover it, and unfortunately, in the final cut of the movie, it cuts real quick in the like recovered footage portion, but the recovered footage portion was shot with porn actors, because what they're portrayed doing is they're portrayed as like eating each other alive, impaling each other with pikes, and peeling out body parts and things like that. And the director was like, we need to bring people on board who would know how to do this consensually and safely. Get the porn actors. And just knowing that, it's like, well, this sits a little differently.
I don't know.
What era was Event Horizon? Because now all I can picture is like those awful mustaches.
No, this was
the entire crew had those mustaches.
I mean, Lawrence Fishburne was in it. So
well, no, I mean for that scene. Wait, Lawrence Fishburne wasn't a porn actress.
No, he's one of the main characters in Event Horizon, though. Him and Sam Neill.
I didn't know Sam Neill was in it. That's awesome.
Yeah, and apparently another fun fact about that movie. So I don't remember which actor does which, but one actor gets better the more takes you do, but the other actor gets worse the more takes that you do. And whenever the two actors, Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne, were in the same scene together, the director would have to like play a little game of like, how many takes can I get away with before this starts to get bad? Yeah.
I'm just picturing him as the owl from the Tootsie Pop commercials.
I mean, and also thank you, Safriona Maple. Event Horizon came out in 1997, which, if you know anything about late 90s disaster movies, the conclusion of Event Horizon makes a lot of sense.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
One thing to backtrack for a second. There is a documentary about that Dune movie I mentioned that never got made. It's called Jodorowsky's Dune. I'm going to drop the spelling in the private chat.
I know it got brought up in the Heatsink Comic Collective, which is one of the Discord servers I'm a part of. So I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, this was an absolutely insane. It would have been an insane movie from all the descriptions. Also, Jodorowsky's out of his damn mind. Like, you'll see him in this. You know what I'm talking about. He's one of those guys who's absolutely crazy, might be a genius, but is definitely crazy.
Okay.
And when this project fell apart, he ended up using a lot of the ideas and visuals and things like that in a major comic work, Linkal.
Ooh.
If you know the Inkal or Linkal, it's him and Mobius working together.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Mobius was one of the concept artists for this Dune movie.
Oh man.
As was H.R. Giger, and the designs he couldn't use ended up in Alien.
That makes sense.
This movie would have been nuts. It had
Mhm.
Salvador Dali as the Emperor of the Universe. These are the castings that they actually had laid out before the movie got canceled. Mick Jagger was going to be Fade Routha. They had Orson Welles lined up.
Oh no, he froze.
Targaryen, but that's Game of Thrones. Baron, I'm talking about the bad guy, the big guy.
You froze for a second, so I missed a chunk of those names.
Oh, no, the next one I mentioned was Orson Welles. They had him on board to be Baron Harkonnen. That's the name.
Oh, okay.
And they convinced him to do it by agreeing to hire his favorite chef from a local restaurant. Like, this would have been an insane movie. And
I mean, I'm sorry, but that tracks for Orson Welles.
yeah, no, like they're like, we'll never get Orson Welles, and Jodorowsky just started having lunch with him at his favorite restaurant in Paris where he ate every day. And
amazing.
Finally said, tell you what, if you work on this, if you agree to work with us on this, we will hire the chef of this restaurant. And he said, done. Yeah. Jodorowsky's Dune. I put the name of the movie in the private chat so you can share it wherever. But
nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I will say I would never in a million years want to be in the same room as Jodorowsky. He seemed like a nightmare, but he made good stuff when he worked.
I mean, I'd believe that. I mean, commissioning ideas that would eventually make it into Alien is like, that kind of mind.
The other, honestly, the best way I can describe Jodorowsky's Dune is it is like the 80s equivalent of PT.
Okay.
That is where there were these meeting of the minds that would have been great, and then it just didn't happen.
Which is so unfortunate. I would have loved to have seen that, honestly.
The one other trivia thing I'll throw out there, and then I'm done talking about it. They wanted Salvador Dali for Emperor of the Universe, and in order to convince him to do it, he said he wanted to be the highest paid actor in Hollywood. And they thought about it and were like, how much actual footage do we need of him? And they're like, approximately, he's going to be on the screen for like only 5 minutes. There's not really that much time. It's like, cool. We'll pay you $1 million a minute. You can tell people you're the highest paid. You're the highest paid actor in Hollywood. And Dolly was like, I'll do it. Let me grow my mustache.
Budgies are amused by this.
That is the most brilliant workaround to that I have ever heard.
I mean, yeah, Jodorowsky is nuts. I've only seen one of his full movies, The Holy Mountain, and it's a weird movie to watch. And it is one of those things where at the end I went, crap, that was brilliant. I wish it wasn't, because he seems like a pain in the ass.
There are a lot of directors that would seem like a pain in the ass to work with, and yet they make such brilliant things. It's just the way of it. Unless you are, what's his name? Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. Like, apparently he was a nightmare to work with and made a shitty movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I've heard.
To be fair, it's a great shitty movie.
It is. Yeah.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa.
Yeah.
I saw that movie in the best way possible. It was in a theater with friends who knew what to do with all the calling things. Being the only people in the theater who knew what to do with that. Everyone else there had no idea what was going on. They were doing all the stuff. And I had not slept for about 24 hours.
Oh, that's the best way to watch that movie.
While all this was happening. It was great.
Oh man. Gosh. The one time, the only similar experience I have had was working on finals in the BG computer lab and deciding, well, we're just working. We need background noise. Let's watch Food Fight. I knew what to expect because I had seen many reviews. So I was paying attention to my final. My one friend had not seen it, and they spent the entire runtime watching the movie just in quiet disbelief. Like, how?
Yeah.
How did this get made? And I said, hey, if they can make an animated movie, you can too.
I feel like it's the worst example of that because half the problem with it is didn't they rip off most of the animators?
With Food Fight, it was crazy because there was actually reported corporate sabotage. They lost half the footage of the film. They had to remake it very, very quickly. With even less of a budget than they were given.
Oh dear.
Wow.
Yeah, that movie cost an obscene amount to make and remake, and it turned out absolutely horrible. I don't know if that would have saved the film, but it's
I mean, I don't know if there was any saving that film. I do remember hearing though that one of the big reasons it got in trouble was that they weren't paying their animators.
That could have very well been the case.
It could have been a combo of we need to redo all this stuff and we had no more money, but
the footage was stolen.
Who would want it?
I mean, there are fetishists out there, I'm sure.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that movie is such a fetish movie.
I will take your word for it. I've not actually seen it myself.
Wait a minute. The horny food stuff is being stolen? Quick, find George R.R. Martin.
I also have not seen that particular bit.
Oh my god.
People make fun of George R.R. Martin because he writes the food scenes in the Song of Ice and Fire books.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily detailed, and a lot of people think he's got a thing. So
I mean, I wouldn't put it past the man.
It'd be the least creepy thing in those books.
It would. Yeah. Let's be real. Oh, man.
Putting Food Fight on in the background, I don't know if I'd be able to get work done. That sounds very distracting.
It's like I was participating in 24-hour comic day for the first time when I was in college, and somebody came up with the idea, hey, how about we play anime in the background while we work? That'll be like good background noise. Unfortunately, they were playing movies that I had never seen. So I very quickly gave up on making 24-hour comic day and just committed to, I'm just going to stay up for 24 hours and watch weird anime. And that was how I discovered Osamu Tezuka's Metropolis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Watching that at 3 a.m. is an experience.
Oh, good Lord.
And then very quickly followed that up with Paprika.
Oh.
Hell yes.
Which I love Paprika. Don't get me wrong. But, we watched Metropolis first and then Paprika. And it was at the hour of the night where we were like, maybe we should go to bed.
Yeah.
Are these subtitles right? We started watching it in Japanese, and then we got to the scene where where one of the psychiatrists is like, we should be investigating not Paprika's bikini. True satisfaction comes from exploring the Atlantic Ocean, and going on that weird rant. And we saw the subtitles and we were like, wait, something must not be right. Switch over to English really quick. And then we switched over to the English dub, and it was just as weird. Yeah. And we were
excellent
like,
English dub, by the way. And if
it is an excellent English dub. Just so good. But we watched it, we switched it over to English, and we were like, oh no, it's just weird.
Yeah, he just drops into word salad all of a sudden.
It does.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Speaking of Satoshi Kon and English dubs. Oh, I'm sorry, Ben, you were still talking. Go ahead.
No. That I was honestly about to say something similar because Satoshi Kon slaps.
If you guys have not seen it yet, you need to see Tokyo Godfathers.
It's so good.
B, you need to see the new dub that G Kids put out there.
There's a new dub?
There's a new dub, and they actually hire hang on, I need to look this up because I do not want to get it right. Or I want to get it right. That's what I was trying to say. They have not knocking the old dub. The old dub is phenomenal. But they actually hired the person who plays, hang on, I gotta find it. Sorry.
Are we talking about the trans character?
Yes, they actually got a trans woman to play Hana in the new dub.
That's great.
Amazing.
And it's phenomenal.
So Tokyo Godfathers, for a long time, I was like, this is the movie I want to show to people who don't watch any anime and have no exposure to it as a gateway thing. And then I tried that and they didn't like the movie. They're like, I couldn't suspend my disbelief. And I'm like, on Tokyo Godfathers?
Yeah, we're not
it's a little magical realism, but not a ton.
Yeah, no, not a ton. It's if anything, it feels like slapstick comedy to me in a lot of places.
It is. Yeah,
it's 3 Men and a Baby anime.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's 3 Men and a baby, but the men are homeless, and it's in modern day Japan.
I will always recommend Satoshi Kon stuff. I remember when he died. Like I was at work back when I worked at UPS, and I saw a thing that said Satoshi Kon. And I'm like, I know that name, and I double checked, and I saw, oh no, not this guy.
Yeah,
I heard the news, and I went, no.
Yeah. I mean, I was first introduced to him with Paranoia Agent, which honestly,
that was my
maybe not the best way to be introduced to him, because I wasn't expecting it to get that weird, and I kind of needed a lead-in. One episode of that show I still consider one of my favorite anime episodes of anything ever. It's Happy Family Planning is what it's called. It's all about 3 strangers who meet with a suicide pact and try and kill them.
Oh, so, that one!
It's so good.
I saw bits and pieces of that, but never saw it all the way through.
It's worth watching. It's a great episode.
The thing about Paranoia Agent is I always caught like the first like 4 or 5 episodes of that anime, but then the network would just cycle those first 4 or 5 episodes again, and nothing else new. And I'm like, but what happens next? What happens next? I need to know. So yeah, and unfortunately, getting my hands on the actual like DVDs is going to be dang near. Yeah, they're basically a collector's item that's like worth hundreds of dollars because the company's out of print.
Is it not streaming anywhere?
I don't know if it's streaming. I'd have to double check that. I know Cats Don't Dance is available for free on YouTube Premium because it popped up on my recommendeds yesterday.
Kelsey, I just double checked because I wanted to confirm. Paranoia Agent is out on Blu-ray now.
Oh,
for $22.
I know what I'm going to ask.
Also on Crunchyroll and maybe Funimation.
Yeah, I don't know about Funimation because I know
apparently Funimation and Crunchyroll
they are merging, but some of it's not merging, so it's confusing.
But it does. There's a specific page on Crunchyroll, and it also appears to be on Prime Video, but I don't know if you have to pay for it.
I don't remember if we have Prime Video or not. I'm going to have to double check with Alex.
It might be one of the ones you still have to pay for, though. So
I'm
not sure. But yeah, it is on Crunchyroll. So
we have Prime Video.
We have Prime Video?
Yeah, you get it when you pay for Prime.
We have Prime Video, apparently.
Nice.
Well, hopefully there's a way to watch that because good show. Also, shout out for one more movie of his. It's a hard watch, but Perfect Blue is great.
I really need to watch that. I really need to watch that because I saw Millennium Actress and I loved Millennium Actress.
Yeah. Millennium Actress, I think, is the only big thing of his I haven't seen yet. I know I need to.
It's so good. It was
my favorite. Tokyo Godfathers is my favorite now. Millennium Actress is number 2. I adore Millennium Actress.
From what I've heard, be ready for Perfect Blue to be kind of like Millennium Actress.
Oh, Perfect Blue is terrifying.
Oh, it's absolutely terrifying. It deals with dark subject matter. That's just why I bring it up.
Yeah. Well, Millennium Actress doesn't. It kind of tiptoes around it, but it doesn't like go into it the same way that Perfect Blue does. But Perfect Blue is like, because I've seen internet reviewers talk about it in like a "this is why this is terrifying" kind of like review sort of thing. I think Super Eye Patch Wolf actually did a video about it, which was how I found out about it. But
Speaking of Perfect Blue, I don't know if you guys have seen this. I think I've mentioned this to you on one occasion, Kelsey. Have you either of you heard anything about the anime Oshinoko?
I can't say I have.
Holy shit, that show. I'm finally reading the manga.
Okay.
It starts out, I pitched this to Alex because when I first heard about it, I couldn't believe it. And I had to run it by someone to see if it was as crazy as I thought.
Okay.
It is basically, it starts out like the premise of it, the trailers are completely misleading, but the premise of the show, and I'm going to try not to go into spoilers.
Okay.
It starts out with a doctor in a boony town who is super into idol culture.
Okay, here's the thing. You've told me the plot of this particular story at least 3 times, but I always forget the name of this show.
Okay. Well,
I have to step away for a moment. I'll be back. Keep talking. I can hear you.
Okay. You're good. But yeah, so what happens is this doctor in this boonies town, he's obsessed with idols.
Yes.
Specifically, he follows this one band and this one singer because in Japanese pop culture, with the, like band culture, you have like your favorite, and with VTubers too, you have what people call your Oshi, which is like your number one, like your stan, like you stan that person.
Right.
It turns out that his favorite performer shows up at his clinic because it's out in the middle of nowhere, and she's pregnant at 16, and her manager, who's like her surrogate father because she's an orphan, he's trying to figure out like how to help her, and he wants her to like still have a career, and if people find out that she is pregnant, then her career is over.
Right.
So he swears the doctor to secrecy, and they're like, okay, we're gonna have these kids because she's pregnant with twins. And everything goes good up until the night of the delivery, when some creeper shows up at the hospital, and the doctor follows him outside because he's like, you can't be here, and he wants to, you know, protect this girl because at that point he has gotten to know her and he cares about her.
Right.
The doctor gets killed, reincarnates as one of her 2 children.
Yep.
And from then on out, it's like Perfect Blue, and that is a psychological dive into the dark side of like pop culture, anime, idol industry.
Yeah. Which, you know, I gotta say, my only familiarity with the idol industry in Japan is how many critiques of it exist. And that there is one idol in particular who she does like really subtle call outs about idol culture. Like there was one time that she made a public appearance and she was like, raise your hand if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. And nobody in the audience raised their hand. And she went, oh, you work as an idol too? And it's like, oh, I know why you did that, girl.
The craziest thing about it is like, I was very on the fence about it because the whole premise seemed kind of crazy.
It's pretty wild when you put
like
it that way.
time I got reincarnated as a baby.
Yeah.
But then you watch episode 1, which if you have Amazon, you may have access to High Dive, which is the only way you can watch it.
Okay.
You may need to sign up for a trial with High Dive, but I have High Dive so we can stream it together. The first episode is a 2-part hour-long movie. And the way it ends, I kid you not, the stranglehold that this 2-part episode has on the anime community is like, it is completely deserved because it is simultaneously like, it's heartbreakingly tragic and well executed. And I'm just sitting here like, this is the anime about idol babies.
And about a doctor being reincarnated as one of those idol babies. What is this?
It basically goes from that time I got reincarnated as an idol baby into Perfect Blue 2023.
Yeah. Which is, yeah, I just kind of want to watch it just for that bonkers premise.
Yeah. I heard everything. What the hell?
And the craziest thing about it, the opening to the anime is performed by Yoasobi, who they're the band that performed the opening for Beastars season 2. They've done a couple different projects, but that song not only got to #1 in Japan, it got to #1 globally. An anime opening was the #1 downloaded song in the entire world for an entire weekend. And I'm just sitting here like, oh, there's something about this show that's crazy. And I love it. Also, the art in the manga is gorgeous.
Ooh. Of course there was a manga. And of course I have to read it now.
I have the first 2 volumes.
When you were describing it, I was trying to remember the name. For some reason, it reminded me of kind of a horror comedy anime called Zombieland Saga.
Called Zombie what?
Zombieland Saga.
Zombieland Saga.
Okay, so the concept behind Zombieland Saga, it has one of the best openings ever. It starts off seeming like a stereotypical slice of life high school girl thing.
Sure.
And like literally the opening is almost identical to the opening of K-On!, which is another great show. But you have this girl be like, I'm 16 years old. I go to high school, and like you see her like getting toast in the morning and putting on her shoes and going out and getting ready to run to school, then immediately getting hit by a truck. and as soon as she gets hit, you slow motion to her flying through the air and death metal starts. And like I'm laughing at that point. I'm laughing my ass off. But the whole premise is she got killed, but there's this crazy Frankenstein scientist who is basically resurrecting young girls so he can make an idol band of zombies.
Dude, all in the name of promoting tourism in Saga, Japan.
It is great. When I watch it, there's only one season. I don't know if they've made more, but it's just wild.
There's 2 seasons. Okay,
I'm sorry. This strikes me as the same sort of vibe as this like absolutely bonkers romance novel that I have by Sandra Hill called The Angel Who Wore Fangs. Because this is a series of romance novels that exists. It's about Viking vampire angels, yes, who fight against vampire devils, yes. And there's a segment in The Angel Who Wore Fangs where it's like, yes, the vampire devils who live in a castle in Transylvania, Pennsylvania, and it is very obviously... Like, they know that this is a haunted house attraction during Halloween season, and no one else lives there the rest of the year, and that's where these vampire demons are camping out so that they can plan their Dude Ranch ISIS hangout camp in Montana.
I kind of love that.
This romance novel is bonkers.
Let me throw out something that actually just reminded me of, believe it or not. This is completely off topic. I was talking with someone at a comics meetup.
I'm sorry, I feel called out.
We're going to sit with that for a second.
We're going to sit with that for a second because he's not wrong.
But yeah, I was at a cartoonist meetup a couple of weeks ago in Columbus, and I talked to a guy who actually did a lot of work at a local haunted house in Columbus that's out of an old bowling alley. And we talked, like, it looks like it wouldn't happen because apparently there's all kinds of issues with the place and location, but we joked about the idea of setting up a con in there, which would be great.
Oh, that would be cool.
I still think it'd be awesome. But I said it'd be great. I just have this image of like the spooky old abandoned bowling alley with tabler tables going all the way down each of the lanes.
Ooh.
And for the lanes with stuff with kid-friendly things, the bumpers are up.
That's a cute idea.
Isn't that great? We need to make that happen.
We need to make
this happen. Yeah.
We need to find an AMF that's not doing anything.
Oh my god. So we were talking about Zombieland Saga, and it made me think of 2 things. One, there is a canonical trans character in Zombieland Saga. Well, disclaimer, I believe they are trans. They may just be into drag. I do not want to assume, but it definitely felt like they were leaning towards they are trans.
Yeah.
But,
honestly, Japanese pop culture is really kind of weird when it comes to trans characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends on the source material they're working with, but but they treat it very normally. They're just like, oh, that's cool. But my other favorite part is at one point the mad scientist, the girl asks, she goes, how is any of this possible? And he goes, why, it's very simple. And then she goes, okay, you got to explain it. He goes, how the hell should I know? Check it out on Google, you idiot.
What's sad is that they continued, because just saying, well, it's very simple, and leaving it just being silent is hilarious. Actually, what you just said just reminded me another random game shout out I wanted to do. On my Twitch channel right now, I'm streaming a game called Thirsty Suitors.
Ooh.
Which is both horny and gay. And I thought you guys would appreciate that.
Yeah, I certainly dig that. I'm gonna have to check that out. It's like the same vein as Thirsty Sword Lesbians, which I still need to play.
The best way I can describe this game is if, like, I don't know if you guys know Suda51. He's or Swery65. They're both these Japanese game devs who make really weird games.
Okay.
Yeah,
But it's like if they decided to make a dating sim crossed with a Tony Hawk game. And it's weird. And it's also an RPG where you're fighting off thirsty suitors. You're basically an Indian American woman who's burned all the bridges in her old hometown.
Okay.
And has now come back after 3 years and is trying to reconnect and has to battle all of these people that she used to date. And it's lots of drama. She's bi and had relationships on both sides. And what made me think of it is I didn't realize until the end of my first stream, but the primary former love interest, the one she'd had the longest on and off relationship with, is trans female.
Nice.
And
Nice.
it was really good how they handled it. Like they talk about, she transitioned during high school while they were dating, and that's a part of the story. And it's just a thing that happened in there. Like, pretty cool.
Love it.
Also, speaking of games, speaking of LGBT games, if you have not checked it out, Stray Gods.
I want to play that so bad.
Stray Gods.
I do want to play that. Yeah.
I was interested, and then I watched a little bit of someone's playthrough. I just watched the beginning. Ashley Johnson, Laura Bailey, Troy Baker.
Yep.
At that point, I was like,
"Oh yeah!" Like I saw that and you're singing. It's a musical.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a musical game.
I want to stream it as soon as I have the ability.
Yeah. I just want to play it. Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah.
Of course, Lois would know about thirsty suitors.
It honestly is real good. I highly recommend checking it out. It is weird as hell.
I am all for weird, dude.
Yeah. If you're curious, just check my channel. I have the highlights up. But yeah, it's cool shout out for random indie game with lots of gay in it for my friends.
Yes.
On that note, unfortunately, I think I have to log off in a little bit.
We've been 3 hours. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we've been going for a while. This might be a good point to start wrapping it up.
Are you sure? I mean, you guys can keep going. I was just gonna dip out early because I was feeling a little like upset tummy-ish.
Oh, you're fine. I'm somewhat under the weather myself. I'm also recovering from a cold, and I'm at a point where I'm like, I really want to make another cup of tea, but I don't want to walk away from the camera. So
I'm doing great.
Yeah, of course you are. I mean, but if you got to bounce, you got to bounce, and that's totally okay. We appreciate you sticking around as long as you have.
Yeah, thank you for having me on again.
Absolutely, you're a joy to have on, my gal.
Thank you.
It's always good to hang out.
Everyone, stay healthy and get well soon. Thank you, Gary.
Hey, totally not really, totally not. Well, I'll post it in the chat later, but I wanted to talk about Rathacon.
Oh yeah,
we can talk about it privately in the chat.
Yeah, we'll catch up on Rathacon because I'm figuring out conventions next year. I didn't think that I was going to be doing conventions next year, and then Alex was like, "What if we did C2E2 together?" And I'm like, because C2E2 applications are open now until January.
Nice.
Crap. I'm tempted to have the Critical Role guys show up, so I might need to apply.
Yeah, just if you apply, keep me posted.
I might also need to apply.
And then the Lowe's is like, quit getting sick, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to. I don't like being sick.
Me neither.
All right. Do we want to Kelsey, do you want to try to keep going, or should we just call it here at 3 hours?
I mean, I could do whatever. I do need to run to the bathroom though at some point. So
I suggest we do a final plug because
let's do a final plug. Yeah, it's getting to that point in the night. But I'll throw out there, you have for folks who are watching, you have until midnight tonight to support everybody who's been on stream through the Fantasyville Holiday Pop-Up Shop. We've been doing this stream to help promote the pop-up shop. We're showing off our indie comics and prints, etc. that's available for the holidays. You can order by midnight tonight via the link in the doobly-doo or the one on the screen. It's crowdfunder.com/FVille Pop Shop. Again, link in the doobly-doo if you need to go there. We do have limited numbers of a lot of things. Like Chloe has a Doki Doki Literature Club print. There's only 2 of those left. We also sold a couple of What the Gnomes Know books. So there's only like, I'm looking at them right now. I think there's like 7 copies left at the moment ish.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that they've been pretty popular. And we only have like a handful of tote bags left because those were really popular at the one day in-person event that I did last week. So yeah, we got limited quantities of stuff. Nab them while you can. Crowdfunder.com/FVille Pop Shop. Support indie comics. Support everybody who's been on stream tonight and everybody who is unable to make the stream because there's a bunch of us. Yeah. And if you would like to maybe tune in for the next live stream that all of us do together, who knows when the next one's going to be, just hit the subscribe button and do the YouTube things. Subscribe, hit the notifications, and be sure to give this stream a like, because likes really help us out. Even if you're broke, like, comment, subscribe. It helps more than you know.
Click the button that looks like this.
Yeah. I'm doing it. You can't see it, but I'm doing it.
I like to imagine that Chloe is doing the thumbs up while a dinosaur is balanced on her head, juggling 3 billiard balls.
I almost had a dinosaur on my head because my sister just shoved a budgie in my face to give kisses.
Aww. Yeah, budgies are kind of dinosaurs if you think about it.
Yes.
Yes. And if you would like to support the artists who are on screen right now, crowdfunder.com/FVille Pop Shop, because we all have work available through the pop-up shop. I think that's all I've got for now, unless either of you have any last-minute announcements that you want to throw out there.
I don't have anything. How about you, Ben?
Yeah, nothing for now. My big thing is family business, which you can buy at the pop shop. So do that.
Yeah. Did you have anything going on streaming soon?
Streaming right now is Thirsty Suitors. I think I have at least 2 more sessions there. You can find me streaming every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time over at twitch.tv/BWHcomics. I'm also at BWH Comics on Patreon, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. And you can find my weeb comic Cospain, a weeb comic about cosplay and convention craziness, over at cospaincomic.com.
Yay,
yes.
Cospain!
Cospain is so funny, y'all. You got to read it.
I tell you what, we've got another storyline that's coming up in either January or February. I haven't decided. It's coming up. Oh, I did think of something.
Oh, yes.
Best way to find this is Instagram.com/BWHcomics. So you can get the link off of that. But we are currently doing an annual contest that we do every year where you get to pick one of the character Ray's shirt color for the rest of the year.
Nice.
It's a little fun thing. It's running until the 14th, and there's a link to the poll there. So please check that out and give us your opinion. There is currently one that is winning. Make sure it's the one you like.
Very nice. Thank you for the boost. And once again, be sure to support the artists in today's stream by going to crowdfunder.com/FVille Pop Shop. The link is also in the description. Thank you all so much for watching. You are awesome.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.